What's going on, team? How we doing out there? Who's ready to get to the market, guys? It is a fast one today. We got to take a look at what's going on in the market right now. Let's take a look at this, guys. We're getting some numbers, economic data coming in. Let's pay attention to the action right now. I'm going to throw up the screen as I'm looking at right now. I have Benzinga Pro up, of course. Going to see what's going on with the PCE number here. We got GDP also coming in, something definitely to take a look at. We'll see what happens here, guys. A lot of action going on, and I feel like my mic is a little bit off. Let me know in the chat, guys. I feel like my mic is a little bit off, but let me know, guys. If it is, I'll restart my mic right here. I feel like it's when it started there, it already gave me that kind of warning. Did get some dips there to try to add here. I'm trying to add on pullbacks here for this economic data. Just got a little bit of an add there, getting that number here, and I will be looking for further down spots here towards 64.40s, 64.30s to add big, but this is going to be a big day because I feel like we can get a bounce back. Let's talk about all the numbers that we're getting right now. You guys can see it here. I'm going to go actually and close this on the left-hand side so we can focus more on what's coming in here with the data. Of course, we got core PCE at 2.9 versus the 2.7. Estimated was a 3.7. So core PCE coming in pretty light there, a little bit above. The prior was 3.7. So a little bit above the estimate there on core PCE. Jobless claims coming in at 235. 1,000 versus 237,000, so a little bit under. What I'm really focused on is this number right here. This is the 2.8 versus the 2.0. This is going to help start to get a nice little boost in the market. Now I'm looking to actually start to size into this TQQQ. So with that being said, let me start taking some size here as I look for one more dip really below my entry here to start really taking some bigger size in the TQQQ. Even towards the open, I think that we could get a little bit of a dip, but I'm trying to get in this and load up already, guys. So we'll see what happens here. Definitely an interesting morning, and I'll get to the playbook in just a second, guys. Just wanted to focus in on this action. Of course, this is the big report as we've been getting this downside action. I feel like the bears, even myself, right? Everyone's getting bearish really quickly. And with that being said, that's usually when we get a little bit of a flip back. So I'm looking for a relief rally today. Would like to see this go back down towards that wick. You went to a wick of 64.40s. If I would have been, right on the buy button there, I was trying to start up the show to get on that, right? And to tell you the truth, guys, it was just a little bit of the show starts right at 8:30, right when the numbers come out. Next time, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start up the show at 8:25. I was trying to focus and trying to take some buys there. I did take just an ad right now towards the 65s. I'm slightly below the 65. I'm towards 64.90s, and there's a little bit of a dip. Now we're getting that dip here. As I start to dip down, especially towards 64.30s, 64.20s, that's really where I can get really big. But for right now, looking at this dip here, and it can hold this trend line, right? This 64.70s, and then just come right back up. So for right now, I'm looking to see if we get a slight dip below that. We did get that nice dip towards the 64.40s, and it's starting to hold the 65s. I feel like this is a good level to really watch today. It could rip off the 65, starting to move its way back to 66 and higher. But definitely this is going to be a tough one. Definitely looking also at Google to take a shot on Google. So I'll be watching Google to take a shot on that. We'll see what happens on that action. I'm going to go now to the playbook. Then I'll be focusing in on this trading action, guys. We got a lot to talk about. We got the sunrise report. I just knew the trading action is going to be interesting, and I'm just taking a look at it right now to see what happens here. Can go ahead and kind of share a different screen if you'd like to see the trading action. I'm long at 64.94s. Right now we're at 64.80s and kind of chomping around, looking for a dip down back towards the 64.30s and 64.20s to really go big. 65 is going to be a big watch today. It keeps chomping around that 65 spot. We'll look to see if it actually takes a move here. All right, that's going to be the economic data. You guys can see that came in there, but let's go to the playbook today. That's really where I like to start things off. So of course, like always, guys, smash the like and let's get to the playbook this morning. All right, traders, let's start taking a look at what's going on in the action. Of course, TQQ is one of my watches on the playbook today, guys. So I'm going to be watching to see if we can get this bottoming out action here. And of course, you guys can see this trend line, right? And so hold on a second. Let me pull this up here so you can see the bottom of the action there. And so you can see how this trend line just went through and undercut it and came right back up. That's actually a great sign here as we start to recover the 65s. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more, guys. I keep seeing this 65 hold here. Eventually, I think that we could get a quick little dip at the open, but I still want to keep adding here. So I'm going to take another shot here on this. Of course, you guys can see the dip right there that it's trying to hold. 65s is really the important spot there. So now that we're above the 65.08s, we could just start riding higher. I'm going to go ahead and try to take another 100 shares here at 65.10s maybe. Look at that already, the 65.20s here, and it keeps going higher. So I'm trying to add slowly here, but at the same time, now we're starting to get this rip. Now we could go away from this and maybe just not even turn back here, guys. So, all right, it's trying to get a little bit more on the pullbacks, and I got orders out there. Right? It's more of a matter of where am I going to get the fills on these pullbacks. I do got about 2 orders out there, 65.05, 66, 65.05 and 65 right there for any pullback action here on the TQQ. Where can I see it going? Well, I could see it going up on the hourly resistance. So if you look at it here, that's going to be a nice little move here towards 66.20s. And so I could see that happening, right? We're at 65.20s. That's still a buck away. So still got a chance to catch little pullbacks to 65 and looking for that expansion run. But we're already getting a nice little lift here this morning. And at least I'm long. I still got 95 shares. I don't got, my 500 or 1,000 shares that I'd like, but definitely one to watch today. Let's keep moving. Let's go to the second one because I feel like the second one's going to be moving with this move already too. Might want to get a little bit of a piece of it already. That's going to be Google. Let's take a look at that as the action starts here and Google starting to come back up. Of course, they had earnings earlier in the week, took a hit, but really the report really wasn't the worst. And now you're starting to see that hold. I was talking about in my playbook that you definitely wanted to see that 173 hold. And you got a little crack there when the numbers came out, 172.50. So that's actually looking really well. Now I'm looking for pullbacks towards 173.70s or 174, slightly below that for a long on Google today. Does not seem bad for me to see this get back there towards 175 and maybe 176 in the intraday action. It's looking great. I'll look for a little bit of a dip buy, especially at the open here on Google to see if I'm able to play it. But let's keep moving as the TQQ is now up at 65.55s. And where can you have gotten some more information? Of course, keeping up with our socials. We put this out every single morning on our Twitter. And if you're not following me, you're missing out also because I also gave TQQQ this morning of how I wanted to approach it. Let's get to the third stock here, which is XLE. And why XLE? Because the oil has been getting wrecked lately. And the things that are really beaten down today, I'm looking for those to bounce back. So watch for a quick little move in XLE. We'll look to see if that gets that nice little jump. And like I've mentioned, I'm looking for beaten down areas to get a nice little push and catch that rally back. We'll see what happens here on the day, but TQQQ already up there to 65.50s. I'm not doing too bad. I still got some ads. I didn't get as much as I wanted, but not too mad at this at all. We'll take a look at the action. Like always, the playbook is to give you guys strategic outlook. And today, main thing that I'm looking at is what has gotten beaten down that could have what we call a relief rally. That's what I'm calling out today. We'll see what happens, guys. Let's keep it moving. We got a lot to take a look at in the earnings department. The stocks are moving right now, so I definitely will take a look, but you guys can see it right on my screen. TQQ, nice little takeoff there. Now I'd also take a look at different stocks like Tesla, Microsoft. Those types of names could get continued run, but let's kick it off with the Sunrise report and see what we can take a look at because there's a lot of earnings plays to talk about and even some Apple news. So let's get to it, guys. It's time for our Sunrise report. All right, guys, good morning to you. Let's rise and shine with today's Sunrise Report. And the first one up we got here is Ford, as Ford came in short of Wall Street's expectations. And it wasn't short of Money Mitch's expectations, I'll tell you guys that. But while beating on revenue, thanks to ongoing warranty costs, they increased their full year target from free cash flow, but maintained their 24 earnings guidance. Disappointing some investors, the shares dropped about 13%, and aftermarkets closing near 13.1367 per share. And I think that this is something definitely to keep a watch on, as their earnings per share came in at 47 cents adjusted versus a 68-cent expected. What is going on here? The margins, guys, the margins. I've talked about that in auto manufacturing, this has become a battle about margins. And if you don't have technology to rely on like Tesla, well, you're going to struggle a little bit forward. Automotive revenues here at 44.81 billion versus a 44.02 billion expected. Ford CFO John Lohr explained that the costs were relative to warranty reserves for vehicles of 2021 models year or older. So it looks like there's some costs that were put into there. That's why you're seeing the EPS down significantly here. But let's keep it moving. Let's go to the second report here. We'll kick it off and go towards American Airlines, as they're forecasting a drop in unit revenue for Q3 as high demand hasn't compensated for the oversupply of flights. So, of course, this is leading to fare cuts, and they're looking at Q2 profit falling 46% despite a rise in revenue. They've taken swift action to reorient the sales and distribution strategy here. Shares of American falling 8% in pre-market trading Thursday. The shares here came in at $1.09 versus $1.05 expected. Revenue at $14.33 billion versus a $14.36 billion expectation. So, hey, landing down here on these airlines. They haven't given us any good news, and it's not going to continue with the next one right here, guys. Let's kick it off. Let's go to the next report here as we go to Southwest Airlines, or no love for the love right here, guys. This used to be one of the favorites. Southwest Airlines forecasting a potential drop in unit revenue in Q3 due to oversupplied U.S. markets forcing ticket discounts. What ticket discounts? Do you guys see ticket discounts out there? I don't see any ticket discount. What are these airlines talking about, man? It's almost like they're in this like crazy world. Discounts? No, they're just trying to tell you there that they're trying to make more money. If you look at the amount of money they were making per seat and compare it in the pandemic, it's way higher. So it's not that they're forcing ticket discounts. Honestly, I think these are just trying to make excuses for what is going on here and them not being able to be profitable or profitability dropping the way it is, right? So these are not things that you want to be seeing in the industry. Their Q2 revenue and profit dropped more than 46%, and shares falling about 4% in pre-market trading. We'll see what happens here. They came in with earnings at 58 cents adjusted versus an expected 51 cent. Revenues at 7.35 billion versus a 7.32 billion expected. So if they're able to hit those numbers, are they really getting hit because of ticket discounts? I highly doubt that. But let's keep moving. Let's go over. Let's get to the next airlines conversation. Not airlines conversation. We'll move over to the next one here as we get over to Honeywell. Honeywell is one that we were just looking at just a few days ago. Why were we looking at Honeywell? Well, because we were taking a look to see what would happen in the industrial space. Of course, it's been getting a nice lift because of interest rate conversations, but shares are trading down after weaker than expected Q3 guidance, overshowing the better than anticipated quarterly results. The Q3 earnings per share in the range of 2.45 to 2.55 on the high end, below the forecasted 2.58, right? So the guidance here is what's really hurting Honeywell. We'll see what happens if Honeywell can bounce back. Of course, they have been getting the lift because of interest rate talk. We'll see if that can go ahead and get the bounce. Let's get to the next one here. Is the cruise ships leaving the port? I think they've already left the port, but let's talk about their earnings now. Royal Caribbean reported Q2 results with an adjusted EPS of $3.21, beating the $2.75 estimate. Sales of $4.11 billion, surpassing the $4.04 billion estimate. They also raised their fiscal year 24 adjusted EPS guidance to $11.35 and $11.45 on the high end. On a day where the market wasn't having so much uncertainty, I think this report would be a nice 5% move higher. So we'll see what happens with Royal Caribbean towards the open to see if it can get that lift, but definitely something that I'll be watching. You can watch Norwegian today, Carnival Cruise. We'll see if they start to get a nice push. Norwegian definitely on my radar also. Let's get towards the Chipotle side of things, or the guac side of things. Let's go to it here, as Chipotle Mexican Grill saw its shares pare back gains after management warned of near-term margin pressure due to costs associated with new menu items and rising ingredient prices. Despite this, they reported a strong Q2 results. Earnings per share here at 34 cents versus 32 cents expected. Revenue at $2.97 billion versus a $2.94 billion expectation here. So the biggest thing I think in Chipotle is what? The portion conversation. Everyone out there on social media, TikTok, comparing how portions have slightly come down. So what did Chipotle do? Well, they came calling their managers and said, hey guys, we need to get this portion situation covered. We don't like the negative publicity. So if you need to give a little bit extra guac to get that customer happy, go ahead and do so. We'll worry about the margins here. We'll warn investors that we could see some drops. And the biggest thing is we get the customer and the consumer back happy with the portions that we offer at Chipotle. We'll see what happens here. Let's kick the last one off here as we talk a little bit about Apple's and their shipments starting to struggle. So I saw this headline. I think it's an important one. Apple's iPhone shipments in China have dipped about 2 percentage points, while, of course, other China phones have actually soared. So I think this is something definitely to kind of keep a watch on to see what happens with Apple. Will we get a negative on Apple's report because of the iPhones? This is where it gets a little bit difficult. I think they will struggle in China, but then here in the US, they might have done all right. So we'll see what happens, guys, as we get closer and closer to Apple's earnings. Let's keep the focus on that, and we'll see what we can come up with when iPhones come around. I think it's next week that Apple reports. Let me go ahead and confirm that for you guys. But definitely keeping an eye open for that report. 7 days on August 1st, right? So we'll see what happens there with Apple. Keep your eyes open, guys. That's your morning rundown and your sunrise report. So stay sharp out there, traders. And like always, keep following our social Trade the Pool. You guys can catch this every single morning. The sunrise report, the playbook. That's what it's all about, trying to give you guys value and making it nice and quick. Let me know if you guys like the sunrise report. I saw multiple mentions out on social. Thank you for the sunrise report, as it gives me that nice quick rundown. That's what it's all about here. I'm just trying to give the value back to you guys so that you guys can come in the morning, get your watch list done quickly, and then, of course, get some strategic outlook on certain stocks. Then we get to the trading action. So it's time to kick things off. Let's go over to the trading side of things here as we go and move over, team. Guys, smash the like. Let's go. It's time to kick off live trading. All right, team, what's going on, guys? The TQQ is what's going on, guys. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at that action, and we'll be watching that trade, as it's definitely one of my top trades that I've been trying to get on today, and I'm already in it, guys. I got 64.94, 95 shares. So looking to see if I can get some ads on this towards the open. we'll be watching for the cues to maybe take a quick dip and then trying to catch that dip. But I think that we could have definitely a relief rally type of day, even in a stock like Tesla. We drew this area yesterday thinking that, man, it might take a couple days to get there, but it got there in a hurry. It's back down towards this 50 to 61.8% retracement level. So on a day like today, yes, Tesla could bounce today. We'll see what happens to these stocks. Definitely going to keep an eye open for Google to see if I can get a dip back towards 173 out the gates. That's going to be one of my top watches. And of course, guys, yesterday, biggest trade, guys, was KRE. I completely annihilated KRE's turnaround. It was green, 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 green. Well, guess what? Yesterday, topping candle right there, guys. So I'm going to look for continued weakness in regional banking ETF today. That was a hell of a trade. And not only that one, NextEra Energy. What you guys think about that one? I was battling with that one here. Even got stopped out on it once and came back in the name. Was able to ride it up all the way up there to 75 yesterday with I had 200 shares. I sold some in the 74.20s, the rest at 75. It was a really nice trade there for me in NextEra Energy. So we'll look to see if this can continue today. It was really not a bad trade. So let's keep getting after it, team. And like always, we'll get and talk about the Olympics. You guys can always catch the description. We'll have some links there. It looks like we got that posted there for you. But definitely, we'll talk a little bit about the Olympics coming up. But we'll see, man. I'm definitely looking to see if this NextEra Energy can continue to make the move. And there's a couple out there, all right? I'll be watching also CAT to maybe make the move back today, right? There's so much to talk about here. And guys, remember Citi for the short? Man, that thing's been looking great since since I turned around there on Friday and started to call that short. That's down to 63.80s. And what happened to Goldman Sachs? Well, Goldman Sachs has just been hanging out here. So watch out for maybe a bounce there in financials today, though. And that's why I got to keep a little bit concerned for KRE. But KRE is a little bit different because it just started the breakdown. So I think you could get a little bit of some mixed noise where you're going to support today, like 55.40s, 55.50s, and then it starts to come back to 57. So if I wanted to take this, it would be just like the quick short. But I'm really looking more for the longs and looking to see if some of these can really kind of catch a little bit of some love today. Palantir is another one that has pulled back that might be able to catch that nice lift. I'm so glad I sold it in the 28s. I didn't get to the 29s. I thought maybe we'd get to 30. It got to 29.83 and got right back up. So right back down. So we'll see what happens here in Palantir to see if maybe I can catch this one. There's a lot to talk about, team, out there, whether it be the earning stocks. But man, did you guys see that turnaround on Ford? What a trade on Ford, guys. Was looking for this to come back towards like 1350s and 12s. And boy, oh boy, we're back down towards 1180s. And it had no business being up there, right? This is the clear example where it just ran with Tesla and it shouldn't have run, right? I mean, let's be honest. It wasn't a fundamental run. It was more based on what? Just sympathy. So like a stock like this, Zap, I could see this stock, yeah, maybe hanging on if we're getting that nice push today. But at some point, I feel like this is going to let go and come back to $4. So if that's going to happen, well, it's not a bad risk to return. Just got to go ahead and stay small a lot of the times with these swings to get that big trade there. We'll see what happens on a trade like, let's say, Nikola going right back down. There's no reason why this should be up, at least in my eyes. There's no fundamental news there. There's no catalyst. This is pure sympathy on why this stock is up, let's say on the daily from the bottom here on July 1st to where it is now. It's still up 30%. So we'll see what happens there, guys, as the TQQQ continues now to 65.68. We're almost up a full buck here before the open. So looking good. We're running into the resistance now towards the 65.70s levels. Let's see if we can get through that, start to make our way to 66. And I'm looking great. Would I have wanted to be bigger? Yes. The big size to buy was at 64.50s and 64.40s. As this was coming back to 64.30s, I wouldn't have got that hit. But I had the orders out there, just didn't get hit on that big pullback. And a big part of that is It was right at the 8:30 spot, man. I was trying to start the show. Didn't want to just like kind of skip you guys and then go focus on buying. But trust me, a little part of me wanted to just focus on the buys this morning because I felt like it was going to be one of those moments where it just runs away. And this is exactly that type of open, right? Where if this just runs to 9:30, it could be up there like maybe 66.50s by then. And then are you buying? Majority of traders would probably be on the wait and looking for pullbacks. Well, this stock could just not pull back today, right? And you could also go at it with the Qs or the SPY itself, right? I mean, I could have just been buying the Qs down there, let's say 41, it would be this break here. So I would have looked at this line here, the same way that I drew for the TQQ, right? I would have been like, okay, so we've had this line here down to 460.05. We've had this one here back towards 461.10s. So somewhere in between that 461.10 towards 460s made sense for a good shot, right? That's that third bottom kind of action. You could still get an attempt back down to 462. So I'll keep that in mind, but it's not a bad day already to get started. All right, guys, we'll take a look at some of the other names and see what you guys are mentioning in the chat. But let's keep it going, guys. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. Let's get it started. Let's wake on up. This morning, guys. Out there. Let me know what's on your radar this morning. I need to get a little bit of some coffee. Let's go. Adding WDC to my list. Time for some coffee. Back soon. You and I both, brother. I need some more coffee too, man. I need like a coffee delivery. You know what? We need to make enough money so that we can have a little bit of a coffee assistant. What? That would be great. Or you know what? I need a coffee machine right here on my desk. Just literally just bloop, start making coffee, right? What do you guys think about that? Should I get a coffee machine for my desk? That'd be hilarious here. All right, guys, we'll see what's going on out there, guys. I'm trying to stay awake. It was a long night for me, so we'll see what happens. Mira getting a little bit of a lift this morning. Let's take a look at that. There's a lot of stocks moving, of course. We can watch this one. This was a stock that was beaten down just a couple of days ago. Now we're starting to get another lift here. We'll look to see if this one can move. Doesn't look too bad. Is getting a little bit of a lift. Not the strongest one right now. I mean, we can look elsewhere too. TQQQ doing well, man. 65.64. We'll look to see if that breaks 65.70. I'll keep a watch on that. CMAX also doing well there. POAI up there towards $2.20, but has made pretty much the moves, I feel like. On this one, I don't feel too confident they could keep going. But hey, to each his own, right? This has made now 1, 2, 3, 4 moves. This is usually one that I'd look to short, right? I'm just going to be as honest as I can be. When I see the stock do 3, 4 moves, a lot of the times I'll look to see if I can short off of a blow off top. So let's say here it's gone up, right? It's gone up 1, 2, 3 times to try to break out above that 230. I'd look for one more attempt to get stuffed, maybe to 228, and then fails back down through the $2 today. I'll be watching for short on POAI, right? Break this 208 on the way back down after doing that 228, and then I have that level to risk off of. I could take a shot. We'll see what happens on that one. All right, guys, let's catch up. Whatever stock you guys want to talk about, throw it up in the chat. I can keep taking a look at some different industries and sectors, but I want to see what you guys are taking a look at, right? Morning, get up, smash that like. Let's go, Great Scott. What are we looking at this morning, Great? All right, stock news update. New deal signing at Lucid. Oh, man. Oh, come on, man. It's Lucid, dude. Lucid isn't going anywhere, guys. Even if it does get the lift, I wouldn't trust this thing with a 10-foot pole. I didn't trust it at 65. Now we're back down, what? Close to 100%. No, hold on. I'm sorry. 98%. We'll see what happens on Lucid. I still remember, man, there's certain times where I definitely need to just hold a short, because Beyond Meat was a very similar one where it was up there in the like close to 200 range when I was like trying to short this thing. And this thing's back to $6, right? Fake meat, fake profits, guys. Be careful out there. Lucid, I don't think it's going anywhere soon. They'll probably sell that company just like they sold Fisker. And Fisker is not even alive anymore, so we'll see what happens there. TQQQ, we'll see, guys, 65.60s, pulling back off of that. It was looking for that 70s. It's still trying to break that 70s. We'll look to see what happens there. Not a bad morning to start it off. And let's go taking a look at some other trades or some other stocks that are moving here in this morning. Got POAI at the top there, STSS. Another one that's up there to 37 cents. I'm going through some of these smaller names here. TIVC. That's the ticker. This morning, I was watching that off the 50 cents. It made a run there to 65 cents. We'll look to see if it makes another run. Nothing that stands out to me too much in this one. Bally's Corporation getting a little bit of a lift there. Oh, man, this one's a confusing story. But we'll look to see if this actually can hold a little bit of a lift. Bally, I'm sure this came in with some earnings. Did they kind of fix up their situation with their media? Looks like a merger deal, of course, comes out, and that will definitely help it out. Here you guys have it. Here's the news here on Bally's. They entered a merger agreement with Standard General LP and will acquire the company's outstanding shares for $18.25 per share. So there you guys have it. They'll receive $18.25. We'll look to see if this starts to get the lift back to that. The price represents, of course, a 71% premium. So we'll look to see if this can make its way up there towards that level. You can see this morning it was up towards 1775, has pulled back here. Maybe it gets to the 1619 and then starts to make a little bit of a lift back, but definitely more of your arbitrage style play. We'll see what happens there, guys. What's up out there, guys? How's Tesla doing? There's that lift right now, guys. And we started the show, at 8:30, right? And I talked about how Tesla could get a lift on a day like today. It's already up almost 2% from that 8:30 spot. And I feel like this one could keep pushing on a day like today. Of course, you're going to have those up and down moves, but it's not a bad area to kind of keep watch. XLU also doing well today. So Nextera Energy, definitely one that I'll watch for a continuation, but can watch for another one that is kind of like a laggard play, which is Excel Energy starting to get going. Duke was already hot, so looked like Duke could stay hot today. We'll see what happens on that one. Southern Company. There's so many here that you guys can take a look at. Southern Company is SO. But definitely, there's a lot to look at here. We'll look to see if utilities can keep making a push today. Technology is definitely an area where I can see beaten down names get a lift today. Consumer cyclical, those types of names definitely watch, because on a day like today, those stocks could bounce back, right? So the beaten down areas, watch out there, guys. Well, how's the hog doing this morning? Hog Davidson had some earnings, has pulled back, now trying to get another lift. We'll look to see what happens there in Hog. And how's RCL? RCL back to 164s, 165s, has 163.80s on the bid. Time to check out something here, guys. You guys want to take a look? Let's take a look at that action. Money Mitch here said, you know what, guys, this morning, I said, you know what? I'm going to take a little bit of a shot there in RCL. Let's take a look at how that's doing right now. I'm up a good amount here in the swing account, up about 182 from 162.30s. But looking to probably take some profits here as it starts to push higher. We'll look to see if it really makes a move back towards 170. The earnings were pretty good here, so I got no problem with this one starting to make another move up higher. But right now, I'm still hanging in there. Still got a nice little position in this. Would like to see 166 hit, and then I could take it all off. But looking good right now in the pre-market. Could try to get that 164.50s. Maybe that could be the move here. Just take some off there. Don't mind it to take some off and then seeing if the rest will make a big move out the gates. We'll look to see what happens there. Let me see if I can get 164. Let's say it's at 164.11s. All right, I'll take that. Let's take the 164.11s here. Boom. Paid myself a little bit there. We'll look to see if the remainder works. I'll also be looking for some pullbacks on RCL out the gates to see if it comes back to like 162 and 160. But not a bad little swing trade on that one. Let's go back towards the day trade action and see how our TQQQ is doing. See if that can really kind of make us some cash here. Now we're getting a little bit of a quick pullback. And that's actually a good sign here. I'm telling you guys, I'm looking for that quick dip back towards that 64.40s and 64.30s to really get big on this today. We'll see what happens. Definitely if it undercuts 65, that's where I'm looking to add. I don't want to add it like 64.70s. I'm looking for that wipeout look and then for it to come right back up. We'll see what happens there, guys. All right, catching up with you guys out there. IBM too. Yeah, a lot of action out there. Where did that Lucid and Nikola pumper go? Was he a veteran? I don't even know, man. But I don't think he'll be back. I'll tell you that much. IBM did have some earnings, right? And we'll look to see if that kind of makes the move. IBM, I don't know, man. I've called this one when it started to turn at the 140s, and it made that 150 turn up towards 190. Could this one eventually continue back and get through 200? Yeah, but I mean, really, it's not the craziest move. We'll look to see if it can kind of just hold the 90 MA pullbacks. 90 MA, that light blue line. You see how it keeps holding that? That's your line in the sand there for the bulls. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what else is making a trade this morning. What about the other ones, right? How'd that cost move yesterday? Right back down, man. I think tried to get the move to 10, couldn't get the move. We'll look to see what happens today. And if you guys have a ticker you guys want to talk about this morning, there's a lot to take a look at in the sectors and the industries. We can go ahead and do that. Just looking around here, the POAI still hasn't made that attempt run back towards the 228s. Did make a cut down below the $2. We'll look to see if it undercuts $2 and really starts to let go. All right, let's see what else is out there in the trading space. What are you guys taking a look at? SEMA? All right, what's up out there in the chat, guys? The chat's a little quiet today. Where's everybody at? Wake up out there, guys. You guys left the alarm? You guys probably rely on iPhone alarm. That's probably what it is. All right, let's keep going, guys. We'll see what else is making a move today. Let's talk a little bit about the Olympics, right? The Trade the Pool Olympics, guys. You guys don't want to miss it. Who's going for the gold? You out there. You going for that gold? I know I'm going for the gold. We'll see what happens like always, guys. But the Rule the Pool competition, don't miss it out, right? The Rule the Pool Olympics. Test your skills, guys. 5 days of trading competition coming in just 4 days, guys. You don't want to miss it, team. I'm going to throw up the link again here for you guys to sign up. Let me know in the chat. Are you already signed up? Well, there you guys have it. And you guys out on Twitter right now. It's right there on our profile. Just click our link right there, pinned at the top. You'll be able to go ahead and join the Olympics and battle with me right here on the show. I'll be doing all 4 of the accounts, right? We have 4 accounts here that we can come after, and I'll be doing all of them, guys. The market leader, the S&P only, right? The penny power, the bull run, the bear battle. I'll be looking forward to doing some shorting, doing some longs, and of course, some penny power, baby. Market leaders like S&P only, that's going to be an interesting one, as I'll probably be trading the Mag 7 there, right? What are the Mag 7 doing? We'll take a look at that action, as of course we take a look at the S&P only. You guys can definitely take a look at the facts, answers, and questions for specific rules. But take a look at that action, guys. We'll see what happens. And how do you join? It's really easy, guys. Click the button, sign up to Trade the Pool Hub, go to the quick order, select one or more of the Rule the Pool Olympics accounts, and bring home the gold. That's it, guys. The account will be activated on the 29th, but you don't want to wait to the 29th, as we will close it down, guys. We will close it down the day prior to that. So, hey, we'll see what happens. And like always, guys, the contest itself is free to enter. So definitely, guys, just go ahead, join the link, check it out, see what you guys can be doing on the Rule the Pool competition, guys. Smash the like. We got a lot more for you guys. We'll keep it going right here on Trade the Pool, guys. All right, let's get out of the Olympic talk. We'll talk a little bit more about that later today, but definitely not a bad day at all, guys. It's been a good one here. We'll take a look at what else is making a move. But, hey, see what trades we can come up with. TQQQ still doing well for me here. There's POAI going for the move. We'll look to see if it gets back there. But TQQQ just hanging out at the 65.60s. Could still take out the 65.70s and just not come back. I won't be mad at it. I'll tell you that much, guys. RCL now almost to that 65s and continuing to bounce back there. So not a bad one there to take a look at for maybe NCLH to get the nice little boost. It was down there to 1905s this morning. If RCL can turn things around, maybe NCLH turns things around also. Johnson & Johnson mentioned in the chat. Let's go take a look at that, Izzy. It's good to see you out there. All right, let's take a look at J&J. Johnson & Johnson kind of battling there. It's going sideways at the top of the range, so that's a good level. Really nice 9 EMA pullback here. So take a look at that, guys. Not a bad one at all. We'll take a look at that, but really nice push here. Resistance right above it towards 157. I'd maybe be careful for like a 155 or a 154 pullback for an inside day. But other than that, I think Johnson & Johnson is pretty strong. Could test the hourly support first. That's a nice little pullback towards 155.40s, and then looking for the next move higher. We'll see what happens there in J&J. Pfizer's been the one that I've been looking at for long, and I think this has been loading up, and traders have been getting in this one. So you're looking at Johnson & Johnson. I'm looking at Pfizer today, seeing if it can take 30. Definitely a nice one to watch on the swing trade account. We'll see what happens there, guys. 30.14, not a bad one at all. And this week hasn't been that bad, right? First Solar was one that we were looking at earlier in the week. That's pulled back. It's giving it an opportunity to run with technology today. Run was one that I was looking at yesterday. It's still on the radar, team. It's hanging out here, and it could really start to get the motor going here right out the gates, right back through that 18 and start pushing strong. So keep your eyes open to see Solar get a nice little bounce. ENPH still holding well and starting to run. That was one that we talked about earlier in the week. So keep your eyes on that action. Not bad names to watch there. And then we'll keep watch. There's a lot to look at, guys. Cat is one that I'll watch for a bounce. I did get stopped out on this one just like a day or two prior. It's back towards the trend line and could start to bounce right back up. A good sign would be Deere giving that bounce, right? So look to see if maybe the leader like Deere gives you a nice little push out the gates to like 377. That would tell me, hey, watch out, industrials coming back and getting a nice little lift. XLI, you can see how it made a quick little pullback. Now could maybe catch some buyers. We'll see what happens there. And Honeywell on the downside of things, if this could actually start to shake back to the upside, that could help that XLI trade. Of course, GE's was super strong. You can see GE pulling back after that super nice little rip higher back to the 9 EMA. This one's on the radar, guys. It pulled back perfectly to give you an opportunity back at that 162. So I'm looking at that 162 as support today. It could pull back maybe below 163 towards 162.70s and 162.50s, but I actually really like this GE trade today. We'll see what happens if we can get a dip back towards 162.50s, but not a bad move at all there in GE. Pan W, let's take a look there. Pan W, not a bad one. Definitely some kind of resistance above it, but CrowdStrike, if CrowdStrike starts to come back, yeah, this starts to come back. And look at CrowdStrike this morning, already starting to make the move to the 258. And this is one that a lot of traders have been keeping an eye open because it's just been so wrecked and it could start working its way back. Yesterday, I was taking a look to see if this would start to bounce. It did not bounce. We'll look to see if it starts to work its way today. Big level to watch is start to recover yesterday's levels around the 263 and 258. So right now you can see the 258 right above it, kind of acting as resistance, or 259. We'll look to see if it can get through that back into yesterday's pricing and start to push. Good morning to you guys. It's 9:14, almost 9:15 here. We'll get ready for the bell in just about 15 minutes, and we'll look to see if the TQQ can get moving here and get through that 70 spot. That 70 spot is being a little pesky. I'll show you guys that spot right now. You guys can see the 65.70s just playing here. Let's see if we can get through that. And of course, I can just take a look at the Qs too. Don't need to take a look at the TQQQ, but you guys can just look at the Qs. The Qs level would be that 464 takeout going to 465. All right, guys, there's a lot to take a look at out there. It's moving all around in the market today. We'll see if we're able to make a nice trade. Mira still holding in there, now starting to kind of bottom out there. We'll look to see if this one makes a nice little lift there. There's an up one, down one, up two, down two, up three, down three. I kind of like it right here off the 26, 25 spot. We'll look to see if it makes the run to 370s right here before the gates. Let's see it here, guys. It's already starting to get the move here. Doesn't look too bad. Let's see if Mira can go ahead and get the push through that 40 spot. There's the 40 starting to show up here. You know what? Let's have a little fun, guys. What do we do? A little trade here. Of course, I won't go too crazy with this one. It's what, like a 30 or 40 cent setup there. So maybe a little slight pullback here to the 34s, 32, and then a takeoff. Let's see it. The 340s might be the takeoff right now. There's the buy off the 340s. Somebody bought big there. I could see it there going through there. The 40, 4,500, 45 right here. You can see it on the bottom right here. The shares are starting to flow through. Definitely some buyers stepping up there at the 340s, trying to take it. We'll look to see if this starts to run the 350s and 380s. Mira on the watts today. Definitely had some bottoming action there. Big level to watch it is that kind of 360 area. That's where it could really get hot. 350s, I think, is a little bit of a wall. And then 360, where it could start to really chug along. Let's see what happens there on Mira as it tries to reload here. Maybe a 335 on the pullback, but we'll look to see if it actually gets that run. POAI made that run there. That's back up there, trying to kind of blow off top on this. This might actually be one that I can look at, guys, here as it's trying to do a kind of a breakout attempt here. I'm going to see if it fails that and just starts to head quickly back towards 2. We'll see what happens there on POAI. What do you guys think about some of these in this morning? What's your top watch? Looks like we got over 55 of you guys. Smash that like. Let's keep it going. All right, team. It's another beautiful day here. We'll keep pushing and seeing what we can come up with. But like always, I'm going to take a look to see what I can find in the trade markets out there. All right, looking around. The sunrise report, baby. Let's go, let's go. Warner Brothers discovery to sue the NBA over matching rights. Man, Warner Brothers is mad. They didn't get the action. Warner Brothers is really mad there, guys. They're down towards $8 this morning because it didn't get the NBA action. One that did get the NBA action that could see a little lift after being really weak lately is Disney. Disney's just kind of destroyed right now. And so this is one that, like, on a day like today, if we're getting that bounce, we're going to get that bounce. Well, this is one that could get the bounce too. I've talked about Extreme RSI being around 10 for Disney. It's around 17 right now. So who knows? But doesn't look too bad here. A little morning sneeze here. That means to maybe stay away from Disney, but who knows? Who knows out there, guys? Disney is popping back a little bit there. We'll look to see. A lot of these beaten down stocks don't look too bad to kind of catch there. TQQQ trying to break that 6570s. We're the 6577s. Let's go. Sound that alarm. Money Mitch not doing too bad this morning with his call on TQQQ. Yeah, I'm not the biggest, but the truth is, at the end of the day, it doesn't look bad out there, guys. We'll see what happens like always. Can we get this to really move? Hey, find out, guys. All I got to say is somebody sound that trumpet. Sound it. Will the Bulls be out there today? Find out, team. Let's keep going. We got a lot more for you guys. Getting closer towards the bell here. What do we got now? 9:19. Let's go. Let's go. TQQQ now to 65.70s, almost up a full buck on this, guys. So if I can get up that full buck, I don't mind maybe just taking the $100, then looking for quick pullbacks to actually risk that $100 right back into the market. So we'll see what happens, guys, as I do have about 95 shares from 64.94. So really doesn't look too bad. Now really starting to push there. And I thought 66 was definitely in reach. Then I can see a pullback coming back towards 65s and 64.50s. We'll see if we get that pullback. I'll be looking to go ahead and nail that. But hey, not a bad day to start the day today. POAI up there to the 238s, almost the 250s, got to 243s. We'll look to see if that can keep pushing on the day. All right, team, it's going to be a fun one today. We'll be watching the action and look to see if technology names can really just start to bounce back. Those are the names that I'd like. Look at NVIDIA this morning, guys. Since pretty much, 8:35. Look at that, guys. Nice 1.6% higher. And a lot of these are going to be looking good. Google on the playbook today. Just did a recent dip at that 915 around the 173.40s, right back up to 174s. This could really get moving today. We'll see what happens. I feel like it's a relief rally type of day. I've thrown it out there. Let me know in the chat. Put a 1 if you guys feel that the relief rally is here. Put a 2 if you still see some downside in the overall market. Like always, guys, you guys fill in. Hit that like button, and let's keep going. It's Trade the Pool live, baby. All right, guys, we're getting ready for it here. It's 9:21. I want to go ahead and do some more trading out there, but I'll be watching to see what other ones I can come after today. Mira not getting that rip off of that 340 look, turning back down towards the 320s. We'll see what else is out there today, guys. Want to try to find some big plays as the market moves. Lots going on out there, guys. We'll see if we can get some other traders to kind of jump up in here. Smash the like, guys. We need some more traders in here. We got to get some shares. Let's go. All right, we'll take a look at some other ones. Let's go towards the SPY here and take a look at what's actually kind of lifting. SPY is also up towards the 541. I want to see if it takes the 541.75s. We could get a dip out the gates there, but hey, 65.77s now for the the TQQQ. Doesn't look too bad at all there as it's starting to get up there. I'm going to look for the nice little push towards 66. Probably just take the money and then looking for some pullbacks on this to go ahead and take the shot off of that $100. Meta already getting a little bit of a lift, right? So keep watch on names like that are somewhat weak on the RSI and then now can go ahead and flip back to the upside. And we're talking like kind of your bigger names, right? So I'd keep watch on like a Google today, a Meta today. Those are definitely showing up at the bottom. Those could start to just pound right back to the upside. So going to be watching a stock like even Reddit. Reddit's a part of that, right? It's on a big pullback. Could start to catch a little bit of a lift there. Got to keep a watch on those types of names. That's what I really think is important right there because I think that those are the ones that I want to be looking at. The names that are really kind of beaten down could bounce back. Amazon, Adobe. Adobe just released some more AI features. Maybe that starts to get the nice little push today. Not a bad one to watch there. Fortinet, Lulu, Netflix. Netflix is one to watch. Their report really wasn't that bad. And I've played Netflix multiple times last week or this week even and made some profits. So let's see what happens with Netflix today. A push through 642 and starts to grind higher. Doesn't look bad. I mean, look at the hourly. We've been hanging out here. Now we're starting to push. 642 could be a big spot towards the open. All right, guys, what else is out there? PanW hitting some strong support for that bounce. Yeah, PanW is one. I'm telling you, it's all about CrowdStrike there. So if CrowdStrike can do well today, I think PanW keeps pushing, man. So it's going to be more about that CrowdStrike, right? In CrowdStrike, you can already see it. It's really pretty strong. It's actually stronger than a lot of the other ones, right? And it's up about 2.5% since that 8 a.m. All right, guys, almost to the bell here. It's 9:24, and it feels like it's a little bit slower here in the morning. You guys out there, what are you guys taking a look at? Looking into the streets, the Twitter streets, as I like to call it. What are they paying attention to? Well, the GDP, it seems like a lot of people are talking about, and GDP saying that pretty much the economy's all right, guys. Everything's okay. So if GDP is going to be where it's at, I would expect to see this start to continue to lift, right? So the market can continue to lift with the economic data actually being good, but that also hurts the interest rate conversation. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Why do they need a cut in September if the market is doing great? Is it just because inflation's going towards 2%? That's not going to be enough, I think. I think Powell has said it before. He needs to see a sustained move towards that 2% or maybe even lower. So I think at this point, if you continue to get these numbers and the economic data to look that good, well, guess what? They're not cutting in September. I don't know what these guys are thinking. I saw there was even increased chance for a 50 basis point cut. I don't think that's happening, guys. The market would have to be showing me kind of a disaster type of look for me to think that that's what's going to happen. But that's not what we're getting right now. We're just getting simple pullbacks on the Qs and the SPY. And when you think about it overall, this is just a simple turnaround back down, a correction move, right? It's down 7%, back down towards what? We're back down towards the 50 exponential moving average and actually below that. So now we start looking at that point as being the recovery spot. So as we start to recover that, that's what we're looking to try to catch the dip. On a day like today, where you just undercut it on the SPY, could be a perfect day to go ahead and get a little bit of a bounce back. But don't forget that we could get this fake out to the downside at the open and then the move higher. So I'll be watching for that fake out on the downside. All right, Mira still holding in there. What do you guys think about that one today? That one just put in a nice little hammer candle on the 5-minute. Let's start seeing if this wants to push now through that 340s. It did pull back right towards the 326. It's held there multiple times. Could take off here right before the bell. Let's see what happens in Mira. M-I-R-A. A lot of traders looking at this one. Let's see if it gets to pop. Doesn't look too bad there. Where's the wall? Wall is 330s and 335s. 330 isn't the biggest wall because there's a big bid at 328. All right, let's see what other ones are moving out there. Hog had some earnings. We can take a look at that. Look at Harley Davidson shaking that downside action. And trades like that stocks that like were down off of the earnings, look for them maybe to start coming back, right? Look at Hasbro. Look at Hasbro, man. Nice little move there. Hasbro coming back here and pulling back. Nice little setup here off the 64s for a recovery to 67. Doesn't look too bad there. Nice little push there in Hasbro. And I like the daily pullback. This is a daily pullback level towards 62. Not a bad look here. Maybe a 62 dip and a recovery there in Hasbro. It just went towards 62, now recovering back. The only thing that you got to keep in mind with Hasbro is the spread is pretty wide there. But a lot of these stocks, I'm going to be looking to see if they got hit and then they start to come back. American Homes for Rent, getting a little bit of a push, right? This is a REIT. Doesn't something that I would be looking at too much right now, but hey, doesn't look too bad there. All right, looking around at some other things to see what is making a move in the markets there. IMAX, man. I was trying to trade this at 17 for the move here back towards that trend line. And you guys know, I always show you guys the dates I created this. I created this on June 24th. So I was looking at this back here, back on this day, right? And so look at that now, guys, really starting to get the move. That probably helped CNK continue. We'll look to see if Cinemark can get that next little lift. And can AMC even get a little bit of a push? I don't know, man, but we'll see what happens. AMC just doesn't even get the love, even when these movie stocks start to move. All right, TQQQ hanging in there, but reject the 6570s. It's done it once, twice, 3 times. The 4th time, if it doesn't get through that 66, probably get a test to support. Support could easily come right back to 6450s and maybe even below it towards the 64. Somewhere in that spot, I could see us doing a quick little dip and recovery. All right, Mira has the momentum. We'll see what happens out there. What's up? Can I post trade alerts here? Well, it's not necessarily for trade alerts, right? If you're posting in the chat, just try to tell us why you're looking at a trade, right? You could tell us that you're in something and how much money you made, things like that. I'm not going to be mad about that. But really, the idea here is if you're sharing things, try to make it so that other people can benefit from it, not to steal your alert, but to tell them why you're looking at a specific trade. But it's 9:30 here, guys. Let's see what happens here, guys. Be careful out there. You know what time it is. It's time for the bell, baby. Let's get after it here, team. All right, guys. Markets open. TQQQ straight down from the gates, right? Straight down. That's okay. Like I talked about it, 64.50s down there is where I'd really like to add. I'm leaving it alone right now. Mira already starting it off there, guys. It tried to pop through the 340s, just pulled back to the 331. We'll look to see if that one keeps going. 340s, really quick rejection there. And look how it just went from the 29 to that 340s. So definitely something to watch there. There's the pop there. This is moving all around, team. We'll look to see if this actually gets the pop. Doesn't seem like it for me, but hey, this is not my type of name. We'll look to see if it really kind of gets the push there. There's 349s, there's 350s. Can it get there towards the 380s today? We'll find out. Mira, nice little push there towards the 350s. I know a lot of you traders are watching this one, so that's why I have it up here. We'll see what happens if it can keep pushing on the day, but not a bad move there right now, starting to really push here. So I'm just taking a look here. STSS, another one to kind of keep a watch on it. BLMZ, really kind of ripping there. There's Mira now towards 370s. This is the trade right there where I felt it kind of made sense, right towards the 370s, 380s. Now at this point, I think you're getting some profit takes, but let's see if it gets there to 4. Not a bad one there. And yeah, you got some profit takes there. Look at that move right back down to the $3 and down she goes. That's difficult, traders. That's difficult. That's why I stayed off of that one. But hey, just something to note. POAI got up there to 270s, back to the 240s. We'll look to see how that one continues to move, but doesn't look too bad there. I'm taking down this pre-market stock watch list, but we can take a look at some other ones in a second here. I'm going to pull some other kind of watch lists for us today, but let's keep looking here, guys, as TQQ is pulling back here towards the 65, still looking for some dips here towards the kind of below my entries here to add towards the 64.40s and 64.50s. We're getting that dip. And I think that with this dip, I need to go look to see if I can get Google at a good price. So that's 173 for Google today. So I'm going to be looking for that on Google. Let's see if I can get that pullback. So I'll put out like, let's say 30 shares at that pullback layer. That's 173 and below that. So 172.50, 172. All right, putting out some layers for attempted buys on Google for the pullback. And now I need to go focus on TQQQ. There's the dip to 65s. Don't want to go too quickly here. Let it dip, and then I'm going to be looking to buy that dip. So could have taken maybe the $60 to $80 this morning and then looked to got back in. That's probably the better trade here if I want to go ahead and be like super analytical on my trade. But I'm always going to tell you guys that because the truth is I want you guys to learn from this, right? That's what it's all about here. So letting it come down through the trend line is what I want to see. That's that 64.70 break. Then it comes to 64.50s, 64.30s. Like that's the area where I feel we really find some buyers. So 15-minute pattern, right? We get this now up move. Now we actually have this kind of sideways action on the resistance. Now we have an uptrend on the trend line. I want that to actually try to get broken and come back into this spot. Then the stocks come back. So a breakdown of that 64s towards 64.30s, and then it starts to work its way back. That's the way I see it right now. We'll see if we're able to nail this. All right, catching up with you guys in the chat. What do you guys got out there, guys? Options are crazy. Yes, options are crazy, man. Well, you were right, Arlette. It did have the momentum. Coffee in hand. Let's go. Pinkies up, man. I need some coffee, man. All right, let's focus on this TQQQ. It's back down below the 65s. I'm still looking for a little bit more dip here Let's see if we can get it here. Where's the dip? Where's the salsa, man? I need some salsa. All right, guys, we'll see if we're able to get a little bit more dip. I still got the 95 shares. I could cut half of this and then look for a little bit more of a dip. So I'm just leaving it on this 65 just in case it doesn't come back towards the size that I really want to fill, which is down to that 64.40s and 64.50s. So I'm leaving the 95s here. I still want to go ahead and add back down there bigger, right? But just got to go ahead and understand if I'm going to cut it here and just retry to get in on the downside action or what. So it's pretty close here. A little part of me is like, cut it, Mitch, and then come back in it. But there it is. It's already dropping there towards the 70s. I'm looking for that dip towards the 40s really to get bigger. I'm just going to have to get bigger off that spot, especially going towards the 64s. So you could get a dip all the way to 64s. You got to keep that in mind. All right, Ford there, still getting hit there. That's not looking good there. And KRE is definitely one that I'll be watching today for that continued downside. It is getting the bounce right now. We'll look to see if it gets that downside action. It was fading in the after hours. So I'd look for maybe a move back on the hourly and then a rejection, maybe 57.25s. Doesn't look too bad. All right, starting to see a nice little bounce in the market here. So let's go to the daily. Let's see what's doing well this morning. Communication services, defensive, and industrials. So CAT stands out to me. If industrials are going to do well, maybe CAT gets that reversal back to the upside. I'll keep that one on watch. Financial services bouncing. In the red to start is technology. We'll look to see if this goes green. And especially also looking to see if solar can go green later in the day. We'll see what happens there. TQQQ now to 64.60s, right? Still hasn't pulled back to where I want to go ahead and start sizing in. 64.40s is going to be that first spot, then 64.20s and 64s and 63.80s. I got the ladder out there, guys. Let's see if these start to get hit. We're getting the pullback approach here. I'll show you guys it right now. I'm going to put a little bit of a bigger chart so you guys can watch my TQQQ here. And if you guys got some of those smaller names that are making a move, let me know. I'll take a look at it. Just, you know how it is, guys. Those are not really some of my top plays, but looking to nail this TQQQ today on this pullback. 64.70 is a big spot where you could get the hold, but I'm looking for that undercut below where you go back to this low from the kind of the report, which was at 64.40s. So there it is, back towards 65s, trying to recover off the 64.70 undercut. And that's the trend line undercut. So that's like the 5 minute holding that trend line here and then going right back up, which is not a bad look. But I think that we'll get an attempt look again down here. So down towards the 64.40s and 64.30s. We'll see if it just comes ripping off of this 65 and makes a move to 66. All right, not looking too bad right now. We'll see what else is going on there. How's Google? Pulling back, but still not giving me any fills. I'll let you guys know if I do get the fills down there towards 173s. And you guys can see they're out there and waiting, just looking for dips to get into Google today. I want to see some bulls get washed out, and then I can get after it. Tesla was a good call, though. Tesla off the 830s. Look at that, guys. It's already back to 221. So, hey, nice little trade there if you guys were able to nail that. Maybe we're back to that 3, but somehow I feel like it's not going to get back up there. Bally's is getting a nice little up move, right? Not looking too bad there. CMAX, also another one that's moving there. Going back to the TQQQ. All right, come on. Let's go. Let's go. There you go. Going towards the 60s here. Looking for those dips to start getting in here now. Let's go. Quick dips through. Let's get it. All right, guys. What's up out there, guys? Swing trade idea on Nike. All right. Short Uber, says Great Scott. I see you guys getting after it. It's good to see you guys out there. What's up? What's up? What are you guys trading? There you go. A nice little bounce off that 64.50s. Still kind of chomping around, though. I'm trying to be slow and wait for that. Wait for it. It went to 64.46. All right, looking around to see if there's any other trades that stand out to me. See what else is moving out there. Looking for some bigger names or something that stands out. SunPower standing out to me. SunPower. Of course, solar is what I expect to start coming up today also. And this is actually not looking too bad. It's starting to move there off the 109. Has a lot of resistance up towards the 115. Run. How's Run doing? All right, trying to recover that 17 and maybe make a move to 18 today. Let me take a look here at the hourly. Our level has support up to 1730s. Let's see if this starts to turn back towards the upside. What about First Solar? Pulling back off the 217s. TQQQ back in the green there for me. 65s trying to recover there. All right, guys, as it starts to recover 65, if we could still hold here in a little bit, I can go ahead and just start to size in off of that. So we could just see kind of that undercut, hold this, and then you start to hold this trend line, which is at the 65. After the first 15 minutes, that's going to tell me something. So at the 945 spot, if we're starting to hold 65s, I can add above 65s and just hold to see 65 hold. That's the way I'm thinking about it right now. CrowdStrike is one that I like to the upside. I talked about that one. I like it to the upside today. It's been beaten down. And on a day like today, where everything was beaten down and the bears just got way too happy, well, CrowdStrike could easily come back. It already made that dip opportunity to 257.50s. So now I'd be looking for it to hold kind of like that 260. So that 260 was a really nice level there. Maybe a dip here towards 260.50s, but doesn't look too bad there to start making a nice little up move. We'll see what happens there in CrowdStrike to see if it can start to hold. Kind of like it. You know, CrowdStrike is not a bad one to watch on a day like today, especially a day like today where I'm looking for a relief rally. Maybe you get this 259 move for a VWAP attempt, but it still looks good right now in CrowdStrike. PanW also, I think, will depend a lot on that, but we'll look to see what happens there. Zscaler going up. So keep your eyes on the cybersecurity names. CrowdStrike, not a bad little move already. CrowdStrike 15 minutes has that pullback towards around the 259. So if I look at the 15-minute chart, I could see a pullback to 259, and that's what would make sense to me. So if I could get that 259 or 258, doesn't look too bad. Google giving me that entry there, guys. I got the starter there in Google. Now I'm looking to add here in Google. We'll look to see what happens there, but not bad there. I like that start there on Google. All right, next ad will be 172.50s. So looking to see if I can get that hit here and start to size down, right? And doing 30 shares each. And then I got down towards 172. So don't mind if that gets hit here. Like always, I'm trying to size in slow. I've been working on a habit, right? I've talked about that. We'll see what happens. BKTX, I saw that was up big earlier. Let me take a look at how that's trading now. Woo, big move there in BKTX. So that's actually not a bad trade there. If you're able to nail that trade there, shout out to you guys. Google looking good here. I'm getting my second entry there. I got my second entry, guys. Now I'm down there towards 172.75 with 60 shares. Next entry would be down towards the 172, and that tells me look out for the TQQQ coming back here. So TQQQ looks like it's going to come back there for that a down attempt there. Could just lower down some size here. So that's what I'm thinking I'm doing here. Just going to lower down some of the size here to make sure that if it does give me that down attempt, I can keep adding and set up for a nice win here. So I'm really close to my entry here. Can cut it some. That's probably what I'm looking at right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut it some, looking for the dip to go ahead and add more. So 45 shares now. It's still 64.94s. I still want some of the shares, but I want to add those shares down when I get towards the 64.40s. So getting after it, guys. Google might give me that next attempt fill there. So looking to go ahead and pull it back down a little bit here to see if I get a little bit better fill there towards the 171.80s. And I'll have about 90 shares. I want to get up to like maybe 200 shares of Google here on the pullback, but just got to be smart here on these pullbacks. I want to add another 30 shares there at like 171.50s. Let's do 171.60. All right, there you go, guys. I have some other orders to add here on Google. Looking for a little bit more of a dip here to see if I can get some add. Let's go, Google. Dip one more time and then start to work its way back. TQQQ, need to watch that as it starts to come back down. I will be looking to add some size on that. Come on, TQQQ. Come on down to Papa. I'm trying to buy you, baby. SLRX, XLRX. One that just got out of the halt there towards the 4. This one was halting around yesterday all around, guys. So just be careful out there with this one. But it is getting a nice little move there. We'll look to see if it keeps going. POAI's tried to make its move up there multiple times. We'll look to see if that gets hot. Something tells me that that one's starting to fail. But we'll see what happens there on POAI. Predictive oncology. Dun, dun, dun. There it goes, starting to fail a little bit there. I kind of like that first short, but I need to go focus on Google here. All right, Google coming back down, probably going to give me that extra fill there. We'll look to see if I get that fill right towards that 172. It did hit 172, so I'm slightly below that for the add, but looking to see if I can get that slight dip fill there. We'll see what happens here, guys. I'm looking for that slight dip down below the 172 spot here, but Google already starting to get a little bounce there for me. Got to be patient, though. Got to be patient. Pullback entries is what I'm looking for. So, hey, we'll look to see if I can get that pullback. All right. Slow's the name of the game right now for me. So, slow in on the moves down and then looking to add there. Got to the 64.50s there on the TQQQ, looking for another dip down through that low on the 5-minute. You're definitely getting some buying down there at that 64.50s though. Something to look at. So you could get a ramp off of that 64.50s. I'm looking at the 15-minute, and the 15 minutes trying to hold that trend there, trying to hold that trend line. But of course, we're going to make probably an attempt down slightly below that. That's where I really want to start to get the fills, do the 64.30s, 64.20s, even down to 64s. Then looking for this to really start making a comeback. Google, I think it goes down a little bit lower there and then gives me those fills. So I'm slightly going down a little lower to get those fills on slight dips. Look to see if Google dips a little bit more. Here comes the TQQQ. Let's go. Let's go. Got orders out at 64.20s, orders out at 64.10s, 64s. All right, got to put some more orders out, getting ready for this dip. All right, ladders out there for dips. If it dips, I'll get filled a lot through that dip, through like 64.40, 64.30. So got the orders out and ready. It keeps rejecting though that 64.40s cut down, and that tells me that there's some sizing there. So what I'm going to look for is a quick little, when that size starts to get filled, it just gets smack, filled. I'm going to look for that quick down action and then reversal back to the upside. We'll see what happens out there, guys. Why has CMAX halted? I'll take a look at that, guys. CMAX. It's not halted to me. Maybe, oh yeah, it was halted a little bit a while ago. That's a volatility halt. So it's trying to reclaim 5 there. There's that 5 reclaim. Look to see if it keeps going there. POAI starting to struggle. Man, I feel like shorting POAI, but I'm too focused on the other ones right now. That's what I feel like doing. I feel like shorting this one, but hey, I'm going to go focus on the bigger names. I've been trying to focus on this TQQQ all morning. I'm going to keep doing that. If I look at the hourly lows are right around this area. I'm looking for the lows to maybe get tested, which is that cut down towards the 64.20s. That's where I really want to size in. But I can see the hourly lows right around here, and that's why I think you're seeing a lot of buying. I've talked about hourly lows yesterday with the big cap buying and S&P 500 type of names. That's what you want to be looking for, hourly lows to hold. This actually makes sense for it to kind of hold there. Energy starting to go up. So I'm going to look to see if XLE catches a little bit of a dip and starts to move back higher. Not a bad area to watch as a name that's also beaten down, right? So Google gave me that dip buy there. One of the dip buys on that one. I didn't get both of them to fill, but I got one of them to fill. Looking to see if I get a little bit more of a dip there to add another one. But hey, just keep working my way back on Google, and then I'm going to look for a nice rip above the 173 when the TQQQ gives me the sign also. So TQQQ still holding on right now, guys. So looking for that one more dip now to start to break that 64.40s. It goes down quickly towards 64.20s. I'm going to look to size in on those moves and then look for this to come back. And this is the execution plan. We'll see what happens out there. Leon, you got that POAI short. Hey, shout out to you, man. I wish you the best on that one. All right, SLRX was up there to the 413s. Mira is back at the 324. VKTX is one that's definitely moving up 28%. That one's a bigger trade out there, $64, but has made a huge run from 60. Like that's a big boy run there on VKTX. At some point that could pull back, but man, that is just continuing to rip there from 58s all the way to 65s on VKTX. All right, here comes that dip here, guys. Going to look to see if we can get that dip and start to see that turn back to the upside. We'll take a look to see if there's some other ones that I can go ahead and kind of continue to trade. NEE, not looking too bad either. I'm watching that one. That's on the pullback on the day today. Run starting to hold there. Went to 1760s. From that 17 pullback, I could see 18 making sense there. We'll look to see if we start to get that dip finally here in the TQQQ. Looking for it here, guys. Let's see if we finally start to get it here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so we can watch it here. Put the chart pretty big here so we can watch that cut down. This is that area where I really want to buy. Looking for a slight dip below that, and then I'll start to get those fills. Got a lot of shares there waiting, guys. I got about, what, 40, 90, 150. I can even add more here off of that. Let's let this be the 20s, and then let's let 64 start to be that 100 shares. I'll take a shot here, guys. That's for sure. See if we can get it here. There's that slight dip there. Now I'm going to start to see some of these shares start to get filled. There's 64.20s now. I'm going to start trying to get some fills there. Just got 20 shares there. Now I got 65s towards 64.70s. I'm going to look for that move towards 64.10s here. Let's see if we can get that. starting to bounce already there. So I'm putting it up there at 64.30s. Actually, I'm still staying at that 64.20s. If it comes back through 65s on the upside, that's where I'm going to start to swing hard. But right now, I'm looking for still some dips here to get filled. Got to be patient. Got to be patient, guys. Got to look for these to still come back and get me these fills. Looking for the move towards 64.10s. I got 50 shares there, and then I got 64s, 63.90s, and 63.80s. Here comes some of that dip. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see if I can get some more share size in here. Trying to add in here. BBLG is one that I'll put that's starting to make a little move up. Tesla's been strong, could pull back there. Undercut towards the 20, still not at that cut spot there that I want to still add towards 64.10s. You guys can see it. I have this share size like pretty much between here. So this is where I'm trying to get the ads, guys. All right, still seeing that kind of bottoming action. I still want to see a little cut down towards the 64s really quickly. So wash out some people, and then it comes back fast. Google at the 171.50s could do that move towards like 171 and then recovery. That's where I have my last ad there for Google. It's a slight dip there. Let's go to the 1 minute here and just watch the quick action here. It's trying to catch that dip there. There's another dip here. Let's see if we start to get these fills start to come in here. You guys see it, 64.10s just waiting there. Let's see if we can get it there, guys. 64.13s. Oh, just a little part of me wants to step up to the plate there. I'm going to the 64.15s to try to get that fill there. No fill just yet. Back towards 64.10s here as it starts to pull back here. Come on, come on, come and get me. There you go. Just got one fill there. The detach here so I could show you guys literally the action as it happens. Here you guys see the limits there. Now you got these hundreds ready to go, and these are the bigger orders ready on that pullback. Let's see if we can get it. 64.02, 64.03s. I think we'll get that 64 hit. Let me just go ahead and just size in here. I'm going to get the 64. Just got that one there. Now I got that other fill there. Now it's towards the 80s, and I'm pulling it back towards the 70s because I want to get filled on this, but down here at a lower amount, and I'm working my way back to 64.14s. I kind of like that. Now I need to see if this hits me towards the 63.70s. Then going to look for 64s to recover. We're still seeing some downside action here, so I'm pulling it back towards the 60s on this last 100. Got 315 shares, 614s. I like that. I'm just starting to size in here and really want to get big, but just got to be slow, and then look for this to come back in a hurry. One more dip. Let's get that dip towards 63.60s, and then that's the last fill that I'll do, guys. There's that quick dip. Let's see if I get one more fill here. After that, no mas, no mas. Got to understand risk there at that point. There you guys have it. Got a big share size here. Now need to start to look to see if we can bounce back. Now it's going to be the spot where I can actually look to see if that bounce starts to happen here. All right, there you guys have it. Starts to get that little bounce. As we get back through 64s, I'm going to go big, guys. I'm taking a big shot today, guys. It might be, it's one of those days where you got to risk it to get the biscuit, and I'm trying to risk it to get that biscuit today, guys. On a day, Mitch is playing my jam on the TQQQ and the SQQQ tennis match. Let's go. Wisdom, who's going to take it, man? All right, guys, gonna look for this to start working its way back here. Let's see if we can start to get this going. Don't want to add too much size down here. At this point, it needs to get back through my entry. I'm at 64.01. I like the entry. Just need to see this come back now. All right. Google down there towards the 171.30s. Let's see if this cuts the 171. Starts to work its way back up. Don't want to take that next ad on Google until it comes down there. So I'll look for Google to kind of turn back around. There's TQQ starting to bottom here. Now I'm going to look for one more wick. Maybe it cracks 50 for a second, and then that starts to come back fast. You see, there's that wick attempt to the downside. I'm going to look for a wick there. Close should start working its way back towards like this 163.80s. So that's another thing to look for. All right, guys, I'm going back to my main charts here. We'll see what happens if that can start to turn things around here and start to push back towards the upside. BKTX, one of the big stocks out there, started to pull off that 64.50s. Now coming back to the VWAP. We'll see what happens with this one. BKTX, what a move here on this one today. CMAX, what happened on that one? CMAX pulling back there to the 440s. Tried to get up there towards the 5, was halted a couple of times. We'll look to see what happens there. There's the kind of the wick attempt there for your Qs and the TQQQ. Now I'll look for this to start to come back, guys. Now I'm going to look for a big bar green. Big bar green. Back like this, guys. Let's see if it starts to work its way back. As it starts to come back through my 64, that's where I can start to add and look to see if we really start to push. I'll take a big swing today, guys. Let's see if we get it. All right, what are you guys looking out there? 455 could be support on the Qs. Let's take a look at the Qs itself, right? There's 64, 63.70s already starting to come back, so that's actually a good outlook. It needs to close with a bullish engulfing look. So, of course, this is the bullish engulfing candles that it would be on. So let's see if it does do the move here. We'll see what happens. Need to see this start to work its way back above the 9 EMA also, which is around the 63.90 spot. Google heading lower, probably going to give me that fill down there on Google. All right, we'll see if the TQQQ starts working its way back. All right, looking good there as it starts to hold in there on Google. I'm starting to see 170s, 171 start to hold. TQQQ starting to hold around the 63.30s. Starting to see that sizing really starting to come back into it. So, hey, trying to hang on here, guys. Trying to hang on and seeing this come back. I'm taking my swing today, baby. Let's get after it. All right, doesn't look too bad here. Now 63.20s, though. Definitely starting to get a little dangerous here. So just got to keep a watch. See if this starts to work its way back. It's at the expansion on the Bollinger Band. Going to look for a rebound effect back towards the middle line, which is towards 64.60s. The mean reversion, right? Right around here, we should get some kind of mean reversion back. Let's see if we get it. Google undercutting there. Going to probably get me a nice little fill here towards the 70s, but definitely got to be careful with the risk now as we're still dropping fast here on the TQQQ. Still taking my shot, but man, it's a tough trade. I'll tell you that, guys. Taking a big swing today. I'm going up from above on the E valve to now into the red, so I got to be careful, right? This is a big risk on the day today, but looking to swing that E valve to the high end. We'll see what happens there. Seeing out there, definitely PBM as one of the top movers. PBM. See what happens on that one. 77 cents. Doesn't look the best now, but hey. Let's see on the, not the regular session, but let's do on an hourly basis. I got SLNN. SLNA. It's a 5-cent stock. Come on, man. Loop. Nothing that I think is good, doing a good move there. MLGO trying to get a little bit up. We'll see what happens there, guys. TQQQ hitting towards that 63. That's really where I start to get a little bit concerned. 63s. We should get that little bounce there. Now I got to start to set the risk there also in Google. I'm going to set about a $200 risk there in Google. Just set that right now. That could still undercut me and get out. But TQQQ, this needs to start to get the bounce. If not, we're going to get out, guys. That 63 needs to hold here. 63 is down there towards 6303s. We got 6305s. Start seeing this start to come back. Because if not, it's going to be a nice little $400 hit to the upside. Where do we see the upside, right? What's the risk to return here? The return is still back above 66 on the day. So 66 would be still about $800 on the high end. So I'm still looking at a 2-to-1 type of trade. I just got to be smart with that remaining and then maybe add above the 64s to give me a little bit bigger chance for that to come back here and better risk to return. I could add down here, but that's just asking for it. I need this stock to start working its way back. There it is, at least on the turn. Now let's see if it really starts to hold the 9 EMA on pullback. So this light blue line, I'll look to see that start to hold. Wisdom, you got it, man, my friend. Future day trade, I'm going after it, man. I'm long on it. I'm sticking to it. This was the trade that I looked at in the morning. If I pay the price, I pay the price. But the truth is, that's what I'm looking for. And 6430s, 6440s will be a big recovery if it could get back there. So I could add down here and then try to like just keep taking the swing. But man, when you do that, I feel like you just open yourself up for that takedown of the support and you get stopped out, right? So if I add too quickly, that's just, it goes back to this support, 6306, and then I'm out because I'm already down more than that 400, right? So right now, I'm just trying to let the stock work its way back here. POAI shook my short and said, forget your short. I'm going back up there. 271, almost 290. So, hey, was off on that POAI. So, hey, that's how it is sometimes, guys. That's actually not doing too bad. How's Ford doing? Ford's down the 1142s, man. Zap. What's about Zap? Zap's just hanging out. I have a feeling Zap might close the day down towards 925. We'll see what happens. That's Zap, man. That's a hard trade there. How's RCL? Woo! RCL down to 155. Disaster in that one. Look to see if that comes back there. TQQQ still battling out there. Not bouncing though right now. I thought we'd get that quick reaction up. I think that we still got some buyers, but got to be careful out there, guys. I got my stop place for Google. We'll look to see if that starts to work its way back. Tesla has pulled back. Hold that pullback. We'll look to see if it starts to push higher. CMAX back down to the 413s. That's not looking that great there. What was the one that was moving earlier in the day? Mira. That's down to the 276. That was a little bit of a trap out the open, man. POAI now wants 3. Let's see if it gets that 3. It's right up there. TQQQ trying that 63 takedown. And I think I'm going to get an undercut. So got to look to see if this 1 minute can close underneath that. 5 minutes is still doing that undercut right now. So we would have got 2 minutes left here. About a minute, 2 minutes on this. Let's see if it closes below that 63s here on the 5 minute. And it's really close to stopping me out there, guys. You guys see it. I normally don't push that far on that. Google stopped me out there. I took the hit on that Google, that's for sure. I'm pushing it today, guys. Woo! Sweating out here, guys, on this trade. Sweating. Taking a big shot here, guys. It's trying to wipe me out here, guys. Let's see if it starts to come back to that 63. Need about 1 minute for this candle to start working its way back, because if not, ain't gonna be looking bueno. Whew, taking a big shot today, guys, and it's gonna be a dangerous one today, guys. We're risking a little bit too much, guys. And what is this? Getting too big too early. I did it again, guys. Remember the bad habit that I talked to you guys about. It's being a bad habit right now, guys. And that needs to be a good habit. That's smaller early. I started doing those 100 ads. Should have been looking more at the 20 ads and putting it below to see if any reason I'd get that slippage down here. Could be adding on all this instead of taking the look for the risk, right? That's where I think right there, got to make improvements. I'm always going to be talking about them. That's what it's all about. Still got about a couple minutes left here. There you go. About a couple seconds left. There it goes. It switches over. Now I need a 63 recovery. If it heads down towards that low, I got to go, guys. So this is going to be a tough one here, guys. But hey, might be a big stop out here if it cuts that down through that. I'm going to go ahead and set that up to get out here. Got 415. So get that 415 order ready to get out. I'm not going to put out the stop because I feel like I'm just going to get stop hunted, but I have the place order and just got to click it, right? Let's see if this starts to come back. I need some kind of green candle on the 5 minute because if not, things are not looking good here and we're getting the takedown on the Qs. The Qs are now down towards 456 and really getting smacked here, guys. So let's see if this actually bottoms out. If this doesn't bottom, it isn't going to look good and we're going to start to get that takedown. Move back goes to 461. That's where a lot of people were watching for the support. But for right now, it is washing. TQQQ still on the wash, guys. Still on the wash. Looking to see if this bounces, but 5 is about to test that low. There's that test there. There's an undercut. Now does it rally back? This is going to be a testing kind of day, guys. Whew. The sweat is on out there, guys. Covered NVIDIA shorts. Hey, take that money, man. At least take it back from me, at least. Somebody get the money. Pushing it today, baby. We'll see what happens. I'm seeing a lot of takedown coming into the market now. Even Tesla coming back towards the open. Opening around 217.73. There's Tesla coming back for the open. Starting to get some bounce there, but it's really so muted. It's a muted bounce, man. That's not what I want to see. Watching that 5 minute low, but man, it's tough right now, guys. It's tough to watch this, especially because I was looking for that kind of nice little push down. Had that $100 cushion, right? That $100 cushion would be nice right now. Earlier in the day, had about $100 available to me, just didn't take it. So I need to be, working on my game. I think like always, guys, it's always about making improvements, and I'm as critical as can be. So trust me, I'll be critical on this trade. I'll be reviewing it later in the day and seeing how the approach was. I think what really it was the ads of 100 being way too quick, and this should have been more that 20 share ads. So that's where I can take the assessment and kind of make improvements. But boy, oh boy, this 5 minute candle is really testing me right now. I keep seeing that small recovery and then it rejects it at that 62.40s. Then we came right back down. So let's see if it can just pop to 62.70s. If not, it's going to be out of here, guys. And it's going to be a hurtful day, guys. It's going to be a hurtful day. I might get a max red day. Look at that, guys. Oh, I don't think I've ever been down this much on stream. I don't think I've ever lost this much ever on a trade. So, hey, this is how it goes sometimes, team. You got to take some swings, and right now, it ain't happening here, guys. I'm about to get cut out here. Definitely at that point where it's just like, this is just too much pain. Max pain trade. There's the max pain. That's for sure. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and set a stop here at the 62. If it hits, it hits, and I'm just ending the day there. But I'm just setting it there, guys. This is too much pain. 62 set. Forget it. We'll see if I get targeted here on the 62. I can't take the pain anymore. We'll see what happens if this starts to come back. But for right now, it ain't looking great there, guys. SLRX, let's look at the smaller names, see how those are doing. 318 on the pullback for that. We'll look to see if it comes back there. POAI fought those $3, then now has pulled back. We'll look to see what happens on that one. Bally still kind of climbing its way back there. There's the TQQ, the small bounce, but that's a small bounce, man. Small potatoes there. We'll look to see if it starts to bounce and starts to work its way back through the 64s. If you stay small, you can be adding on these dips there. And I think that that's where right now I can't add, right? Because I'm too big too early. And that's where it really starts to hurt. Hey, man, it happens. Do better tomorrow. Of course. Appreciate the love out there, chat. You guys know how I am. I normally don't take that type of shot there. Yeah, get out. You can get back in. Of course. I completely agree with you guys. Definitely pushed it a little bit too far today. But hey, that's all we can do. And we can learn from it, right? We'll look to see if it starts to recover here. There's 6280s at least coming back on the 5. So now at least have the 5 starting to hold a little bit there. Now I can at least take my stop out here and just look to see if this could start to work its way back. Now 6290s. Okay. So now at least we're starting to climb back. We just climbed back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes of downside action. Let's see if this can really start to make a move back. 15 minutes. Can it get back to 64? If I get back to 64, I can go ahead and cut out half of this, 3/4 of this, and then try to reduce my size and manage the risk. Always managing risk first. Then I'm going to have to worry to see if I get the profits back. And this goes to 65, 66. We'll see, guys. It is climbing back, but I don't know if it's going to be able to have enough juice to actually grind that all the way back up. We'll look to see what happens there, guys. Run, not looking too bad there, at least on a solar name that I could look at to see if it starts to get the push here. And this has been going sideways for a while now, so that's why I kind of like it here. It's been up, up, had about 3 or 4 times to try to break that, reclaim that 17 today. It's actually looking pretty good here on run. We'll look to see if I can make a trade on this one. I don't mind it at all. And I think it could make a run to 18 here. Doesn't look too bad for a pullback to 1740s, but I'll take a shot here on this one as I start to see the TQQQ come back, try to make some money, and then use that to give myself a little bit of a cushion here. 1745, I could see a nice little pullback, but for right now, it is pushing strong here. Let's put on run and see if this can kind of get that nice little lift. There's that nice push to 60s already, starting to push there. I like this one at all. I just need a little bit of a pullback. Can I get the 1750s pullback? I'll take a shot on this one. Let's see if we can get it. 1750s, 1745 pullback. I'll take a shot on run. Who wants to run with me? All right, let's see what else is out there moving. VKTX. VKTX off the VWAP. Looks interesting there. That was 6150s. Will it come back to the 65s? This one has a lot of movement. That's why I kind of like this one. The 5-minute pattern looking good here. Just needs to maybe hold a pullback to 6450s or 6250s. Doesn't look bad at all there. 6250s right here. It held that to a key. Looks great there on VKTX. If I didn't have this big exposure to TQQQ, probably take VKTX. That's a fast mover, and it could give you a really nice gain from the risk to reward. But just calling one out there, right? Going back to run, that's holding that 64 breakout and just might just keep running. We'll see what happens, pun intended, on run. First solar is one that I'd look to see it start to get hot there. If run really wants to get going, ENP8 can stay hot. SPWR, well, that can move back up. We'll see what happens there. A lot of people talking about MaxN. I still don't know about this one, guys. But we'll see if some solar names start to get a push. TQQQ still just chomping around. Did get back to at least 63. So it's not the worst, but need to keep watching this to see it really start getting back to 64s. That's really what I need to see, 64. The VWAP is 6409. So if that starts to recover, that won't be a bad look. Maybe you get kind of an inverse head and shoulders look where it pulls back to 6260s here and then makes the next move. We'll see what happens. Just trying to work it back now. Tesla holding the pullback, so undercutting VWAP, a good look there for Tesla. Could just start to push higher. Not a bad one there on that one chart. Google started to hold where I got cut out, so that could start to work its way back. run, now getting that push there to 1770s. So this was not a bad looking chart there. Maybe could have just took the shot there off 55s. Doesn't look bad at all. Are you on this channel every day? Yeah, man. Come on. You haven't seen me before, Leon? Yeah, man. I do this every single morning. Start at 8:30 every single morning. Stay here, guys. You don't want to go anywhere. Smash the like, guys. Like always, showing you guys everything too. Who else would show you this, right? What they would do is they would probably hide this. They'd be like, "Oh, well, let's take this down." Nah, man, I show it to you guys all, guys. I show you guys even filled orders, where most people will definitely not show you their filled orders because they're probably lying on that, right? And I so many streams out there that are not being transparent, not showing you everything. Right here, you'll get it all. So smash that like, and of course, the subscribe, baby. Serve back down to yesterday's close. Great, Scott. Don't talk to me about serve. Don't talk to me about that one. She's dead to me, man. She's dead to me. Serve will probably go down now that she's dead to me, though. Great, Scott. We'll see what happens. No, I'm new on here. I usually alert traders in my chat rooms, but it's nice to see and hear new faces and voices. Yeah. Hey, well, hang out with us, man. We take a look at a lot of trades, and we talk a lot about the playbook. I think you'd like the playbook in the morning, especially if you're that type of person that looks for like alerts in the market to let people know what's moving. Well, the playbook is a daily approach, really, that I take a look at, and take a look at strategic outlook to see what could do well. Today, it was these plays, right? It's looking for a relief rally type of play. But I've talked about some solar names prior to this. I've talked about like the financials turning around, and that was a fun trade. So just taking a look at it, KRE is doing well today, and I felt like we would get that bounce because the truth is that it just seems like a relief rally type of day. And the TQQQ is working its way back. Still not back into the green there for me. And why? Because I went too big too early. Still upset about that, team. Too big too early. That's one thing that I wanted to work well on this week. I did great all throughout the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, respected it. Thursday, today, taking too big of a swing too early, right? Hey, that's what it's all about. And I'm always going to be transparent, guys, because the truth is, it's not necessarily about even like, the truth is I want to get better, right? As a trader. So I'm always going to be calling it out and be a little bit critical, because the truth is, if we're not making improvements and we're not changing habits, bad habits to good habits, that's how we stay being the bad trader. We don't want to be the bad trader. We want to be the professional trader, the one that makes improvements and understands his strengths and weaknesses. That's what we're trying to get after, team. Smash it up out there, guys. NVIDIA hitting the target. Just booked it. Hey, take that money, baby. Take it. Lucid through the highs. Oh, lucid. Lucid dreamers, baby. Can't blame you. We'll see what's going on out there, guys. VKTX, did that one keep taking that move? Yeah. Look at that, guys. Look at that one. That was a nice one. We were just looking at that one down here at the 6250s. It was at like 6280s. Look at the run really quickly. That was $2.86. That can make you a hell of a gain there. VKTX, really great trade today, guys. So long only, we were going to talk about long only strategies. Long only strategy, this is as good as it gets. Really good levels today to look at this. Then what do you get? You get a breakout back to the VWAP. So this is one of my best strategies for long. A big up move, which it was an 11% move here. Then it retraces. You guys can draw the retrace, right? This was a move from that low down here towards that high. And I look for around the 50% retracement level to be kind of that layer where I don't want to see it break. That's a 61. 61s came right back and it went towards 61.27 there. Really nice entry off the VWAP, VWAP being 61.76. So you had to give yourself a little room. But look at the breakout on that, man. What a beautiful breakout there on VKTX. Up there now towards 6650s almost. What a move, man. 6680, 6648s. TQQQ coming back, team. It's coming back. It's coming back, guys. All right, guys, I got to respect myself here. And what do I got to do? I got to lower size. I don't want to lower size. But the truth is, if I don't lower size here and it comes back down to 62s, well, how am I going to feel, guys? I'm going to feel real dumb. I just call it how I see it, guys. So, yeah, definitely going to go ahead and respect myself. I'm going to go ahead and lower size here. The question is, where do I lower size, right? And how much do I lower? I can lower it down by 300, but then I only get 100 left. So be it, could do that and can look for some pullbacks to add. I'm going to probably lower down by about 215. So still giving myself that chance for things to come back up and just get that push, but also understanding that, hey, I want to get out some of it. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Tried to get out. I thought I hit it there, but oh no, I put it up a little bit too high, 64.90s. I need 63.90s. You see, I did a mistake there, but I still got it out. I still got it out here, guys. So you guys just saw me take a little hit there, about $26 versus a $600 hit. A lot better, right? Than trying to push it here too much, and then watching this just go wipe down, right? So now I need to understand the risk on the downside, and I can always get back in if I need to. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and set that risk at 63.60s, which would be about $76 on the downside. Now this could pull back and go a little bit further, like maybe 63. So I'd get out at losing. I'd rather lose 76. Be down 300 and then take another, like, let's say 100 or 200 or 300 at 63s and take the shot there, then keep battling here and then watch this go down towards that 63 and then I'm down like 150, right? So trying to give myself a little bit of room, especially when this comes back towards me like it is right now. It could just be a small little stop out here. So I give myself a little room towards 86. So 63.58s now, giving myself a little room just in case it wants to come back and try to just stop hunt me, right? So you got to be careful with that because it's a spread. But if it just takes 64s here, it could go straight to 65 and then just start working its way up back. So, hey, we'll take some shots, guys. Really, 65 is where I'm going to go stepping up, since I'll be about $1 away from my entry. And then I'll just take a big old swing at this, guys. We'll see what happens, guys. Good job staying patient. I mean, man, that was patient, man. Microphone getting choppy. Hey, thank you, Wisdom. I'll lower it down there. I think I'm just being too loud. And I'm like right into the mic here. So that's probably what it is here. I'll pull it back a little bit. That should help. All right, guys, let's see what happens here. Can it take 64s and really start to get in the green there for me? But now that I'm back into a manageable spot, I can start looking at some other trades, right? So VKTX was a monster, man. That was a run. And run, that wasn't a bad move either. 1780s. So those are looking great, man. NEE has pulled back on the hourly and now can get that next step up. So, of course, I talked about maybe Excel Energy today as being one of the trades that I could look at. This already made a run to 54.80s, has pulled back to the support. I like this, guys. Excel. All right, but definitely don't want to continue to respect myself and my rules, right? So my rules say that I need to go ahead and size in slow, not big, fast, right? So the next move could be a 57.13 kind of pullback. Looking at this based on the daily too, it looks a little bit extended and could pull back here towards kind of the 200 moving average first, then take the next step up. So I'm keeping that in mind here. We'll see what happens there. 63.80, 63.90, still holding in there for the TQQQ. At least it looks a lot better than how things looked 2 seconds ago, right? So just going to continue the battle out there, team. We'll see what happens here. Excel, trying to hold that pullback. Doesn't look too bad. A move back up is about $1. So you got to understand what the risk and return is. That's what it's always about, guys. So I'm going to look for a little bit of a dip here towards the 57.30s and things like that. But I could see this one coming right back up. So let's see if I got what? One dip, two. Let's see if I get one more attempt towards the 30s, maybe coming towards the 25s, and then it comes back around. So that's what I'll be watching here. Let it come back a little bit further down, and then I'm going to look for the turnaround there on Excel. TQQQ trying to break that 64s and going into the green there for me. There's 6406. Now that starts to hold. Now we want to see VWAP hold when it starts the expansion move to 65s, right? 65s will still get me $200 and I'll be back towards what? Pretty much zero. So at this point, just letting it work. Now I want to see this start to push to 65, and then on pullbacks, I can really start to add and get big. But definitely one of those days where I'm going to go back and learn at that, right? I needed to go slower in, and that would have helped me. I would have had a lower average towards maybe 63 or 62s. So just something to keep in mind, right? And at this point, I could do break even on the rest, right? Just not lose on the trade. That's always an option. You can always move it back up. Excel, let's look at that one. Just got that dip towards the 30s. Now it's starting to recover the 57.40s. I don't mind taking a little bit of the starter there, and I'm going to look to keep sizing in. First one's going to be about 30 shares, and then really looking for that move to 57.20s, 57.30s, kind of 25s, 20s, and then starting to see this work its way back there. That doesn't look too bad. Excel. And it could come to the 57.13s also, right? So I'm looking for the 90 EMA to kind of hold here too. So right around this layer, it should be a nice little hold spot. All right, there's 31s there. I'll take the shot off of that. There's 29s. I'm starting to get down there towards the layer that I liked. So long that, took a little bit there. Willing to take a little bit lower towards the 20s if I can get hit there. Put in the 30 there, and then towards 57.13s or 57.10s, another 30. All right, let's see if I can get some of these hit here, guys, and then get up to like 90. There you guys got another hit there. Long 57.24. If I could get one more to hit here towards 57.10s. TQQQ going into the green there, getting a little bit of a pop. Remember, this could still be a fade. That's fade off the VWAP where it comes back down. But I feel like we're at this point, we watched out the bulls out the gates through the first like hour in the market. Now we can start to get the real bulls in the market as majority of the day traders leave, got washed out, and now the strength can come in. Strengthen your plan emotionally, stable for TQQQ. Yeah, I mean, at least I had the mentality, right? Tesla is moving. It looks good on a day like today. I talked about that in pre-market, way before this action, guys. We're looking at that, and before I even looked at that at 8:30. 8:30, we were right here. At 2:13, we're to 2:24. Is Tesla going all the way back? No. But I think it has clear ways to get back here towards maybe even 230s today. So keep that in mind. It is starting to work its way back. It's at 224s, maybe a couple more points, but has been really strong on the day. Excel just gave me that last ad. Yeah, we just got that last ad. Now I can go ahead and start to look to see if this can hold 57. Next layer down from there is 56.85. So that's kind of like where the risk is. Can go ahead and add as we start to get back through 57.40s. That's where I really take the shot. I'll be a little bit green, and I'll take another ad on this. I've made some great money on kind of sticking through on these kind of slower ads. So let's see if we can get that. 57 could be one more ad. So I don't mind there if it's 57 and then holding off the 57.80s, right? So 57, another 30. I don't mind that. I'll put it out there. I got it out there for a limit. We'll see what happens there, guys. All right, going to continue to watch this. Got to go ahead and watch TQQQ as it is pulling back there and could stop me out, right? I do got the trigger that it could stop. I did set one there, so got to be careful with a little bit of a pullback here. Definitely seeing it, right? And so I don't want to push too much here. Willing to get back into the name at a lower price. I'm getting that takedown attempt right now, and I feel like we could get that move back. So just got to be careful. Higher and higher lows is what I want to see. So that would get me out towards the 65s and 66 right now. I still have the stopped out there. That's about $70 on the out. But recovery of 64 here, going to 64.50s, and you start to look really good. So this is that VWAP breakdown attempt here. Let's see what happens. All right, let's go ahead. I'm looking at Excel. This starts to bounce a little bit there. All right, like that. Did not fill by that 57. Now I'm going to look for this to start working its way right back towards 58.40s. There's TQQQ. There's that nice little push. So there's that VWAP attempt, and now starting to recover it. So at this point, I could just start to add, right? And then hold off that 63.80s. That's one option, 100%. So this is up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3. It tried to take it out because the first move was to the down. Now it's going towards the up. Could pull back towards the 63.70s, 63.60s, but should hold that 63.60s now, right? So at least in my eyes, I can put this down here a little bit and just kind of keep an eye on it now. Maybe one last dip here below the 64s and then looking for the real breakout. Then I can start to take the swing. Excel starting to get into the green there for me. So I'm going to look at Excel here. Back through 57.40s is where I start to take the size and looking for this to get back to 58.40s. I don't mind taking 200, 300 on this. Just got to be smart and come in at slow. I'm going to probably set a stop here. Stop buy. $57.40s. We'll do what? Another, let's do 200. All right, got that stop buy for the 57.40s. Got 56.98 for the last ad if it does pull back to that now. There's TQQQ. TQQQQQQ. There it goes. It starts to hold the VWAP. Now I'm looking for this to pull back, and I can start to add off the 64s and 63.80s. So I'm going to start looking to add on TQQQ. Yes, I could have kept that 400 and then can still be up now and stuff like that. But remember, it's all about managing the risk at some point. I'm glad I managed the risk there a little bit. Now I can go ahead and focus on trying to take some ads and taking a swing. Right? Always managing the risk first. Now that I'm in the green, I can start focusing on taking bigger shots on pullbacks. And if it just runs and just keeps going, well then, hey, so be it, man. Never going to be mad about making money because the stocks just run. So now cut down towards the 64s, and below 64s, I can add. And when I add, I usually take the swing ad on this one. So this one usually the step up and then looking for the swing, right? The same way that I would add there in XLE. So above the 57.40s. All right, guys, Google going right back up, guys, and I missed out on that one, guys. I got stopped out on the bottom, and it's going right back up. So we'll look to see what happens on Google. Could do a hedge right now. I could essentially short this Google chart and go long on that TQQQ, and it could be a very similar type of trade where if one comes right back down, the other one kind of cancels out each other and things like that. This is just kind of pair trading talk because things that I've been thinking about. What's up out there, guys? How we doing in the chat? POAI. POAI. It's a POAI. It's a POS. We'll see what happens. It's back down to the 218s. We'll look to see if this starts to really just start to break down. This thing has made a couple of moves. Look to see if it keeps going. It's made 1, 2, 3, and this was the 4th move, and it fails on the 5 minute. So now it looks to me like a breakdown type of chart back towards 170s and 160s for the day, but that's not the biggest up action or down action there too. It's about 40, 60 cents. We'll see what happens there. TQQQ, where we at? Pull back yet towards that 64 test. One more test at the VWAP 64s, and then watching for this to really take off there through the 65s and just start climbing for the rest of the day. Stop out all the scared traders at the beginning, and then all of a sudden start to just drive. Molina Health taking off, guys. So healthcare plans doing really well today, guys. I'd pay attention to that. That looks like an industry-wide move. I'll take a look at that action. Let's look at healthcare plans and how that's doing well today. Molina leading the action. Clover Health right behind that. Taking a look at some of these CVS on the pullback. CVS, look at this one, guys. 5 minute had pulled down below the VWAP, then made a move to 60s. Now has pulled back. Let's see if it goes back towards that 60. Looks interesting. That's for sure. We'll see what happens on that one. ELV also on the pullback. These were strong out the gates there. Healthcare plans. I'm not sure why. Got to catch something in Molina Health. But definitely we'll see what happens there. SQQQ, will this go right back to the upside? If you feel like the market's going to continue leaking, that's one play for you. That's right there on the VWAP. So let's see what happens here as the TQQQ still hanging in there. Still hasn't pulled back to that 64 though. I don't mind adding, but I want 64 on that ad. I want close to my entry here. If not, 64.50 takeout starts to just rip through 64.60s. I could also add up there for the continued swing. But that shows me strength. And so I don't mind adding to winners and being careful on the losers, right? Cutting losers is so important. Excel not giving me that entry just on that recent downturn. So we could get a little bit further downturn as I start to see this go right towards my entry. Mine was 56.98 and sitting there. So I just pulled it back there now towards 56.94s, as you could still get a little bit of a down attempt there. And I don't want it to be 1 penny off the bid. If I do that, I'm just asking to get hit. TQQQ right back towards the 64.40s, held that 9 EMA, got some volume too. I could see that volume come in there. Now I'm going to look to see if it takes 64.50s and really starts to push there. If not, a pullback towards 64s could happen here, but you have had 1, 2, 3. This is that fourth attempt there. We should kind of close above that on a 1 minute. That could actually add towards a pullback here. On the 5 minute, I got an up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3. Could pull back all the way back towards this kind of 75s and then take the next run higher. So just keeping that in mind in the bigger time frames. That's what I kind of going to be watching. 15 minute holding 64s seems to make sense for me there. So I'm going to look for that slight undercut through 64 to get bigger. Excel still just chomping around, now starting to make the turn off that 57 bottoming attempt. So that's not a bad outlook here. It could still go sideways for a little bit. Back through 57.40s, I will add big. Run, did that keep running? It pulled back to the 1765s, now starting to make the move back there. I feel like this could take the move through 18. We'll look to see what happens there. How's Clean Spark on a day like today? Now starting to bounce back. See what happens on that one. That's a fast move back, guys. So keeping your eyes on some of the miners is something to watch now as Mara makes a quick move up. With the market going up, that could give these stocks back the lift that they need to keep pushing. TQQQ, make that rip out towards 63.60s. Now I can look at 64.50s and 64.40s for the ads. Let's go. TQQQ now starting to make that move. All right, guys. So I'm going to set in here some pullback areas for some ads now. So 45. And then I'm going to set up there towards the 64.20s. If it doesn't come back and get me, that's okay. Because these are ads to help me improve and make more money. But if they don't hit me and the stock just keeps running, I'm going to make money anyways. So I don't need to be upset about that. 64.73s coming back there, guys. Coming back. Excel, we'll look to see if that can make the move back there. NEE is one to watch there too. I'd like to see that NEE get strong. 1 hour supports, hold on that, and then it starts to work its way back. SLRX, one to watch on this pullback of 3. Support around the 288, just recovered there on that SLRX. Look to see if it gets back there through the 3. Went down to the 275 spot there. I have a feeling this one might make another attempt here. It's definitely a smaller name, not something that I'm just thinking about trading, but I can just see the chart, right? So we'll see what happens there, guys. Smash the like out there, guys. It's been an interesting battle of a day, right? That's what I'm going to call it. Right now, we're up towards 64.80s in the TQQQ. We'll look to see if that gets through the 65s and really just takes off. Takeoff level on the upside could keep going through the 65.80s. So still leaving room for this to just keep driving and driving. Run is going for the move right now towards that 18. We'll look to see if it gets that 18, but doesn't look too bad at all on that one. And I'm seeing Tesla stay strong. That's going to help it there. Microsoft also one to watch. Meta was one that I was talking about that could have a nice little up move. Was red, now starting to turn green. We'll look to see if that can keep pushing. But yeah, looking at the SPY also to see what's leading the action on the upside. Molina Health, American Airlines bouncing back there. Love getting that bounce back there. So a lot of these stocks getting a nice little bounce back. Taking a look at see what's hit hard that is getting a bounce back also. Edward Life Sciences, I have no idea about this stock, but hey, I am seeing that bounce a little bit there. Valero had some earnings. That's bouncing back on the day. How's energy doing overall? XLE was up towards 91.10, now starting to pull back, and that's an oil trade there. TQQQ now up almost $2 there, guys. 65 starting to show there. 65s there now, guys. No pullback. So at this point, canceling my ads towards 65s because now we could get a pullback and then I'd be looking to see where it gets to. So there's two ways I can go about it here, guys. I can sell the 65s and just take 200 and get out of here, but I'm going to look to see if I can get the continued run, because if it pulls back, the pullback's towards that 64.10 now. So that's where you got to just determine, hey, do I just take the 200, wait for the pullback ad? That's literally what you got to determine right now. So it's been straight up. It's gotten to the 65s. I just got to determine, and do I sell it now, or do I just continue to ride the trend higher? I think riding the trend higher is what makes sense and securing some kind of bag, right? So that's like the 64.40s pullback, holding in there, and the 9 EMA kind of holding in. That's that 64.50 breaks, you crack the 9 EMA. So right now I'm looking at that as being the spot there, the 50s. If that cracks, probably need to go. But that's where it gets very difficult in the trend kind of following attempt here. So some traders will just put their stop loss at the break even and just try to see if this can keep running. That's how I feel like, because at the end of the day, that's how this trade has been right now. It's been green, 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 green. I've yet to see a red candle come in. And so that's another thing that you got to be a little bit careful for, and looking to see if you get a red candle. Right now, we haven't seen it on the 5-minute. So I'm looking to see if this 5-minute trend changes. It opened up slightly below the 64.80s and now is starting to go on the red candle on the 5-minute. So you just got to keep watch on that, because once it goes red, that's when you start to get that pullback attempt, and then you could pull back all the way to the 64s. All right, because it's not going to go just one way, and I think that's one thing that I got to keep in mind here. So maybe you should have just taken the 65s, but I'm not going to be picky here. Just looking to see if the 50s can bounce here and get back up there to the 65s. Could take that $100 and just pay myself, look for a down move, and then get back in. But this is where it does. It does get back and forth, right? All right, guys, what's up out there, guys? I have no idea what Jay's Life is talking about there. TTP have scanners? Yeah, it has certain types of scanners. It doesn't have any like super advanced kind of scanners, but you can have like moving list. You have movers you guys can catch. If you're looking for scanners, we have a lot of sponsorships that you guys can go ahead and use. And if you have a bigger package, you can get it, like Trade Ideas and Trend Spider. Those have, like, you know, great great kind of attempts that you guys can get on that. All right, now that we're back towards the 65s, I'm going to go ahead and set it off the 5-minute low, which is towards that 60. So I'm securing at least 113 right now. If it does pull back, it'll get me out. I'll look to reload in below 64s, as I don't want to be greedy on a day like today where I was down big. Let's not be greedy, right? I think that's important. Excel, I'm going to go focus on that now. I got that last fill there in Excel. So I want to go focus on it and make sure that I understand my risk to return. All right. So it's going to risk down here towards, I'm going to risk down towards the 68. All right, the 68 is where I'm risking towards on Excel. Just set that risk there. Looking for the 80s really to hold on the 15-minute, and then for this to start to work its way right back up. So you can see the 15-minute lows are right there on the 84s. I'm going to look for this to hold there and then work its way right back up through the 57s, and 57.40s is where the area where I'll step up to the plate on that stock. TQQQ back through the 65s and continuing to climb. So where's the top profit for me? Yeah, you get to 66. I'll just take a big portion of this off and run. I'm looking to get into the green, and once I get to the green, I got to take majority of off, right? That's what makes sense. This is not a day where I'm going to go for the home run win, right? The home run win would have been if I wasn't down big, right? If I didn't have that 243 in the red and Google was green for me, also, let's say about 100 or 200, then I'd have 400 in the green available to me right now. And I'd probably be taking some profits and taking a big swing, right? All right, Jay's Life. I'll take a shot in a second here, man. But I'm trying to take some trading action right now, man. And so, hey, I'll talk to you in a second, Jay. I know that you're having some issue. I see a lot of comments there. I can't focus on that right now as I'm trying to do some trading action. We do have a customer service team for these types of questions. So I would definitely go ahead and reach out to them, as I am a trader here and focus on trading. But that's just to take the moment away from it. I'm going to go focus on this trade. This is more important at the time being, right? All right, we'll see what else is out there. Serve back through 9. And great Scott, don't talk to me about it. She's dead to me. Is serve. She's dead to me. All right, guys, there's the 65s trying to hold and making that next run there. We'll look to see if it makes the next run on the TQQQ, but it is pushing back. Relief rally type of move. We'll look to see if it just keeps pushing. The 5 minutes just keep going higher and higher there. So a little part of me feels like just pulling the stop loss up there towards the 65s, because we could get that quick dip back below the 65s. So what I'm going to do is, on the 5-minute lows, I'll keep throwing this up as it starts to come right back up. So as this 5-minute candle closes, if it closes and the low is at 65, I'll set it there. So I'm just climbing higher. This is another thing that you guys can look at, right? Is bar charts. So this is what also helps me, guys. So just to give you guys an outlook on what you guys can be using that maybe you're not using before, is the bar charts. So I'm watching these lows. I'm watching where things are opening and making sure that, yeah, we can undercut the low, but that we're still closing above the open. The open's the left tick, the right tick's the close. So it goes up and down, and you're able to watch the action a little bit more than focusing on candles. You're just watching the opening and close action and how you're still getting that nice trend. There's 65, almost 50s now, guys. So, wow, we're getting that nice little push up there towards almost a 65 breakout, 65.50 breakout towards the 66. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel this for right now, and I'm going to look to start selling some here as we keep ripping. I'm looking for 65.60s on some of this, and then I'll take some of it off there and look for the rest to see if it pulls back or not. 65, 60 here. Let's see if we get another little push through that 50. Then I take some off here. Could it go to like 70s, 80s, 90s? Yeah, but I think I'm starting to get a little greedy, right? Greed is not good ever in trading, guys. Never helps me out. All right, let's see if we get that one more drive here. There's a big wall at 50, guys. Big wall at 50. I'm putting the alert out there. A wall at 50 that might slow things down. We need to blow through him. It's not the biggest wall because for the TQQ, you can get through that type of sizing, but I do see it out there. Here's the 50s coming up. Can we get through that 50? There we go. We got through that 50 there. Starting to slow down though a little bit at that 50. You see how it slowed down there? Let's see if we get through it here. A little part of me might just take these 50s and run. It is on the slowdown now, guys. Yeah, that slowed down pretty fast there. There's a little wall there, guys. I just took some off there. Had to pay myself, guys. Didn't want to be greedy. Put myself down 30 bucks. At this point, can just start the day over, right? I think that that's very important, guys, because at the end of the day, I think that from a day that I've been struggling, this is how you get back to just focusing, right? Because at the end of the day, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do, right? So we'll see what happens out there, guys. Was able to get back into this trade, was smart. Could take this $50 and just put myself in the green for the day. But I'm looking to see if the trend can continue to hold. And now we're starting to get a little bit of that downturn. So going to go ahead and set here off the 65s. Let's do 64.80s. So that would put me back into the green. And if that stops me out at 64.80s, what I'll do is I'll look to come back to 64s and I can play this all over again, right? So, hey guys, it's been a fun day of battle today, guys. Back down to 35s. I'm going to do a little bit of a recap and probably end the day, guys. There's no one else out there that's showing you guys this right here, showing you the filled orders, giving you everything, showing you the screen literally as I change orders and do things like that. That's what I'm trying to do here, guys, is be full transparency, giving you guys all the trading action, showing you it all right here, of course, on Trade the Pool. Let's do a little recap. Take a look at my trading action on the day, and then we're getting out of here at 11. So smash the like, guys. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look. All right, guys, Google, the one that cost me today, guys, without that Google trade going red, which actually ended up going green, right? Like Google is up to 174. I mean, this would have been an awesome trade. I got stopped out near the bottom. Didn't want to risk more than 200 on this, but it's starting to climb back. You can see where I was buying it and where it's closed on right now on the bar type of graphic. I mean, really wasn't a bad trade. Just kind of maybe got the dip right there where it came back. Didn't want to pressure it with the TQQ also. So took that hit, 197. Then sold some of my TQQQ as it was coming back there. Maybe hindsight 2020, I'm like, oh yeah, I should have kept that 415 on. But the risk was too big at that point. And when risk is too big, I manage risk, not try to increase it. That was a good moment there where I can look back and give myself a pat on the back, even though I shouldn't have not gotten in that position, but something to think about, right? Then got in that 207 profit. So be able to bounce back and still staying in this trade by setting a stop right below it and letting the trade work now. Now, if it makes the run to 66, I can just keep those remaining shares and get myself back into the green on the day. And sometimes there's going to be days where we take swings for the big win. And then there's going to be days where we take what? I just need to get back to break even. I need to be a survivor today. Yesterday was one of those days also where one trade was going to get me back into the green. And actually the KRE trade got me back big green. I was able to make $480 on that KRE trade yesterday towards the end of the day, put myself up about $100 and then took that trade. Boom. That's what I'm looking for, guys. That was like a 500 day yesterday. So got to keep battling it. Took a good attempt there on the TQQQ today. It just dipped a little bit too far to put the pressure on me. And hey, that's how it goes, guys. It's never going to be perfect, but we can learn. And that's the biggest important thing, guys. I want you guys to be able to learn from my action here, because if not, we're just wasting our time, right? We're all trying to get better. Let's get after it, guys. All right, guys, seeing some action out there in the chat. A lot of things being asked about there. So let me see what I can see here, guys. There's just so much being talked about. Let me see if I can answer some of these questions for you. I don't mind answering it, but it's just that sometimes when I'm trading, guys, it's a little bit too hectic. Let's just say that, right? So let me see what I can see here. See if there's anything that I can actually resolve in the chat, because I wasn't able to read all that, right, as it was going through. Security warning. When you click trade the pool, there's a security warning saying the site is not safe. Well, just make sure you're on the right site, Jay. That's one thing that I would say. Definitely, we want to go ahead and get you guys up there. The site should be safe. I mean, I go on the site all the time, man. Let me see here what I'm seeing there. And at the end of the day, I have connection is secure from Chrome. So, I mean, I got HTTPS. It should be this link right here. If this is not the link that you're on, Jay, be careful. I mean, this is the link that I use. I can show you it right now. I mean, if you want, I can walk you through it. But, I mean, that's what you want to be seeing. So just making sure that you're on the right site is an important one. You guys see it right above, right? I mean, right here, guys. I mean, that's where I'm pulling it from, guys. So like always, guys, smash the like. I've had a great day here, guys, trading with you guys. I got to go continue trading. Got to go focus on the action. I'm going to keep it going. Like always, you guys can keep things going with our Discord. If you guys don't know, we have a Discord that's open, 24 hours a day, guys, where you guys can be talking with Tim and other traders. So definitely get over to the Discord. I'm going to make sure there's a link there in the description. Like always, we'll keep battling here, guys. I hope you guys appreciated taking a look also at a long strategy. Next week, when these competitions are out, we want to make sure that we're getting that nice ad there, guys, and already signed up for the competition. So if you're not signed up for the competition already, please go ahead and do so, guys, because I do want to go ahead and catch you guys in the competition, battling, getting after it, team. But like always, guys, I do want to talk to you guys a little bit more about, of course, prop trading. Trading with your own capital can always be a roller coaster of emotions. Fear of losing your own hard-earned money can always lead to impulsive decisions. One wrong move can wipe out a week, a month of saving. So look into prop firms to give you guys that access and resource to retail traders can only really dream of, right? We're all looking for opportunities. That's what Trade the Pool is truly about. So prop traders have, of course, daily loss limits that prevent these large losses where you just keep a bag and next thing you know, they're sending you mail that you owe them $20,000 and you're in debt. No, that won't happen with Trade the Pool. So if you guys are ready to make the switch, definitely check it out, guys. Transition from the retail trader to the prop trader. It definitely can be a game changer for you guys. Well, I'll see you guys back in the morning at 8:30. Smash the like, guys. Leon, what was your question? I heard that TTP live trading account doesn't allow shorting high HTB stocks. Is that hard to borrow stocks? Is that true? Leon, I don't have the specific answer. I'm always going to tell you when I have the answer. I don't have the answer to this one. I will look, I will ask, and I will be back tomorrow to give you that answer, my friend. Smash the like. We'll see you guys bright and early. Like always, it's always a great show. And being with you guys, I enjoy it. You guys that stick around every single day to the end. Thank you guys, truly, from the bottom of my heart. Let's keep getting after it. Have that Mamba mentality, Kobe Bryant, like always, and trade the pool. We'll be back, guys. Smash the like.